Good morning, Midnight's Edge fans. We're here to tell you that we have so much more to offer you now at our Mixed Tees store. Not just t-shirts and hoodies, but we do have plenty of those, and new designs for that matter. You can also get mugs, and of course our brand new limited Amber Turds stained blanket. That's right, just for your bed or wherever you need it. So head on over to Mixed Tees now and get all your apparel and goodies from Midnight's Edge.
Get up, wake up, this is your final warning. It's time for midnightsedge in the morning. The gang is ready to go and it's time for the show. It's time for midnightsedge in the morning.
Good morning, campers. I'm still dealing with the mess, so I don't know how much I'm going to be on camera today. But don't adjust your sets. Look at the white man in your corner over here. It is Mr. Paul Chato back from overseas. How you been?
I'm good. I came back specifically to be on this show.
You ran in the door. You were like, I just got on a flight.
Yeah, I was in Japan. I have my Godzilla t-shirt. I don't know if you can see this.
Your ass? No. Well.
Look at that.
Oh, that's
Nice.
like the. I've seen that art before. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I say. Well, it's parody on a very familiar piece of art. The
Yes.
name escapes me, but basically they fan edited Godzilla into it. Which
Yeah,
is
but I think they
very
used it
cool.
on the Blu-ray book too, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know about that art, but I had a great time. It was a fantastic place. Very civilized, unlike being on
here.
X.
Or in Canada, or X. Yeah.
To say nothing of Blue Sky.
That's
Blue skies, nothing but blue skies. Anyhow,
I'm
good
looking
morning,
at
everybody out there in the chat. We have Andre with us as well. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing excellent. Greetings, everyone. Yeah, it's a holiday in Norway as well. Happy Memorial Day to everyone in the US, and
Yes.
happy Pinse to everyone in Northern Europe, and happy whatever other bank holiday you may have in the rest of Europe, whatever you may call it.
Indeed.
We
And
had
also,
a long weekend last weekend. So
did you?
Yeah.
Was it a holiday there?
I believe it was, but because I was on vacation, I didn't get to use it. To me, that's a cheat.
Yeah, basically, you've
Isn't
been
it?
robbed.
I've been robbed
I
completely.
don't know what a
robbed.
holiday is anymore. I haven't had one in 6-7 years.
Yeah. Isn't it
will.
Labor Day soon?
Not for another like 3 or 4 months here. That's when summer ends. It kicks off with Memorial Day and ends with Labor Day, even though it doesn't quite line up with the season change, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
But
That's
speaking of,
my favorite of all of the American holidays.
I know it is your
We
favorite.
never get so much work done as on that particular day.
Yes.
Anyhow, speaking of hours of waiting, we have Chris Brawley in the back here saying,
Hey,
"Come with me if you want to live."
look at the
That's
glasses.
right. You recognize that right away, man. That's nice. Actually, it's not Terminator though. It's
Close enough.
It's
Oh, what is it? If it
Oh,
bleeds,
it's a
we can kill
predator.
it.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
You know,
Yeah.
does he even wear sunglasses in that? Just in the very beginning, I
oh,
think.
in the
I
very
see it.
beginning, he
Terminator.
does, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you guys doing? It's a pet peeve of mine, and so I'm going to be a dick about it. I've got to
Go
be a
for it.
dick about it. I'm sorry. I have to say this. Paul, first of all, it is so good to have you back. You just have no idea. It's an absolute pleasure to have you back.
thank you.
sick of
You're
me.
very, very nicely. Sounds like your show has been suffering without me.
Oh, it has.
Oh, for sure.
Horribly.
Yeah, we've been inundated with questions. Did we Chrissy Mayor you? So now we
Yeah.
can put that to rest once and for all. No, we swore he would be back.
You know what? I left a note for Gary. Could someone please explain to me the Chrissy Mayer affair?
Do I have to?
I mean, listen, if it means expanding on time on this show, That's fine. That's your.
Well,
that is
I've
your-
mostly kept my mouth shut just because I've got my own personal business in the background with it all because I've made the joke, which is kind of true.
Let's keep
Yeah,
that
let's.
pose
And let's
going.
I don't want to get you into trouble.
No, it's not so much get me in trouble. I'm just, I'm just kind of conservative about what I speak upon it.
It
Because
just
I
seems
have
to
no
be a
ill will
different
towards
safety
most
part.
people there.
It
Huh?
seems to be dumb.
It's done.
No, but basically, like, yeah, I always joke that, they gender swapped me on FNT, and then I did, throw the joke at Jeremy on Flashcast last week about like how'd that turn out. And no, but basically is going down is their own doing in a weird way. The short version is this. The quartering, you know who the quartering is, right, Jeremy?
Stopped
Okay,
watching him a long time. He's
he's been
a
busted.
repurposer. He's one of my dreaded repurposers.
Yeah, so he's been busted basically flagging down channels over some of his own behind the scenes drama and some other things going down. And Chrissy, being somebody who's associated with him, also talked to some other people that are associated with him, and basically were accused of doing a softball interview job with him, and then that just snowballed into a bunch of other things that she had ended up admitting to doing that really didn't help her character. And the way she went about doing this, she basically the short version is she kind of basically flipped a bird at any of the FNT people and people that were not happy about this and sided with Jeremy, basically. And it's not going to be good for her right at this moment in time. That's the shortest version I can tell you. Because, at this point, she could have basically just walked away from it, stayed out of it, had nothing to do with it, and everything would have probably been fine for the most part. But she decided to get involved in a shitty situation, and now she's
somehow friends with Melanie Mack, who I think is pretty bizarre on her own.
She's crazy. Yeah.
Well, she's been around for a while. She's got, as you learn, as you get to know people in this business, there's people that cross over. There's people that know each other. There's people help.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people I've introduced to each other. You would have you'd be surprised.
The thing is, people will tar and feather you purely by association, which I find that, one of the more immature aspects of this online, the online community in general. I've been on FNT, and I get not only positive feedback, but a shit ton of like, how dare you be on FNT? I don't know. Like, why wouldn't I? Like, who cares?
I appreciate Mr. Tickle Trunk's caveat there, because I'm expecting the pushback to happen in the next 5 seconds or so.
Of being with me on
No. Tom's explanation, whatever it is, if it's right or wrong, there will be people.
They're already crucifying me. Look, there's 12 different versions of everybody's story. I gave you the most succinct short version, and I've been listening to this shit for the last 3-4 weeks on Flashcast going, is there anything else going on, for the love of fucking God?
No. Yeah, I can't watch that. No.
I purposely, apart from being in Japan, thankfully, I've also
It was a good time to go. So.
Not wanted to comment on this anyway. So we can move on. But thanks for the explanation. I think it's great. You have not, put it this way, upped the importance level of this situation.
Yeah, but basically it boils down to there's a very few taboo things you can do in YouTube and piss everybody off, whether they like you or don't. And Jeremy fucked that up.
Well,
you do not false flag. You do not false flag people.
Oh no, that's like doxing someone. I mean, it's bad. That you don't do that. You don't send your minions off to attack someone.
Or even if it's even if it's people doing it on his behalf, it doesn't matter.
You just get a sock puppet account and do
it. And at that point it doesn't matter, because like I pointed, this is the main thing I have to say about it, and then I'll shut up about it anyway, about Jeremy's thing. Like, at the end of the day, even if he is not guilty of doing this, he keeps talking about this big dick he keeps swinging around. Well, then use that dick to get these people's channel taken or given back instead of taken down, right? Yeah. Get Kino Casino and all these other guys back up and running. Who cares if you don't like them? That would at least be one step to prove that either even if you are guilty, you're making amends or you're trying to do better. Instead, he's doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on the bullshit. And it's just, he's imploding and taking a bunch of people down with him is basically what's going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, when you do 6 shows a day, your brain melts anyway.
Yeah. Like you said, he just rip and reads basically every video he does.
Yeah.
I know more about the details of Fred's, I know more about Fred Sanford and his son Lamont's family drama than yeah. Come on.
Anyways, yeah, you've just proven it's this is as important as Jeremy himself. Let's move on.
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's do that.
I'd rather watch Sanford and so.
I got to say my thing about Memorial Day. If you
please
guys
do, please, absolutely. I was
So,
going to say, yeah, thanks to all the
thank you,
veterans.
To me, it is this is a pet peeve of mine. So I'm going to be petty for a minute. But for me, Memorial Day, and this is in America only. I don't know what it's like with our international co-host.
Memorial Day. Memorial Day is uniquely American.
Yes.
Uniquely American.
But what it is it's a solemn day, right? This is meant for us to remember those who are on the front lines, whether that's military or first responders who have sacrificed their life. And I get it. I mean, I'm a veteran of the Navy, and I was getting Happy Memorial Day texts this morning. And of course, I'm nice. Give it a thumbs up. Have a great day is what I say in return. I don't want them to thank me for my service because I'm alive. I live. This is not that day for me is maybe Veterans Day, if you want to say that. Honestly, that day for me is just July 4th, right? And so there's this picture I want to show that's I'm sharing. This is a young mother. You don't want to say Happy Memorial Day to her. Look at her on her blanket with her and her military husband. She's got her hand on their child. She's at his gravestone. This is not
tragic.
So that's a good point. So what would you prefer people say, or what do you suggest?
You don't have to say anything. Hey, happy Monday. I mean, you don't have, just don't add happy. Just don't make it like it's some celebration of anything, remember the fallen. If you have to say anything, it's just a solemn day. That's all. And I just wanted to say that, and everybody can crucify me in the comments.
We don't say happy Remembrance Day on the 11th of November here in Canada. We don't say Happy Remembrance Day.
Exactly. And we wouldn't say Happy 9/11, right?
No.
So it's the same thing to me. It's just a solemn day, and I don't want to rain on anybody's hot dogs and hamburger cookouts and swimming hole stuff and the things you do because you have the day off and it's summertime.
Well, if you don't say Happy 9/11 unless you're talking to Ilhan Omar.
Well, yeah, or Tucker Carlson, maybe.
I understand. And this is something that's probably happened more so in the last 40, 30 years, maybe, where it has become more of a holiday to celebrate the beginning of the summer, as I pointed out, than it was what it's really stands for. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, I think a lot of time, most people forget what the heck it's about.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather you say Happy Juneteenth to me than Happy Memorial Day. That's all.
You're the wrong color for that, sir.
Oh, well.
Unless you're are you clear?
You don't know what I am.
That's right. You're Betty Boop.
You don't know how he identifies.
That's actually one story we haven't talked about yet. I don't know if you guys want to get into that just before we get into
We need Polly on the show for that, for sure.
Lord, because I don't know how deep into that Andre's been in the last few days, but the Betty Boop news. Supposedly they're trying to justify this nonsense that I don't think I ever heard until the internet. And that was supposedly that Betty Boop was based on some black performer.
Yeah,
but the problem with no, it's not true. Because the problem with that is the performer that they're saying that she's based on was 12 years old when Betty Boop came out.
But she got sued.
No. What you're confusing on this issue, Paul, I think, and I don't want to speak to what your understanding completely is, but the woman who it was based on was white. I think her name was Kane. Oh, I can't remember her first name. Last name was Kane.
Working on it.
And she was the singer that the animator did say, yes, we did use her as one of the multiple references for this character.
Helen Kane.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. One of the multiple.
Yeah, and she said, and the reason that the people have glommed onto the idea that Betty Boop was a whitewashing of a black singer in real life is that singer that it was based on did adopt some of the stylings, the boop boopy doo, from a black singer of the era named Babyface something. I can't remember all the details.
Babyface Malone. No,
yeah, it gets so complicated that what's happened though is you've got people that are just saying, no, this was a whitewash. Right. It really wasn't, because the artists and animators that did it.
Well, my understanding, is that it's based on this Helen woman because the woman that does the voice or did the voice until she passed away, what, 5-6 years ago it was? No, maybe a little more. Anyway, she based the voice on this woman. That's how I knew this for years, because the reason I know this is they brought her back for Who Framed Roger Rabbit to do the voice of Betty Boop. And for those who don't know, it's the same actress that's in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation who plays William Hickey's wife. The lady with the cat in the
You're right.
Yeah, that's Betty Boop. That is the original Betty Boop. She came back for Roger Rabbit to do the voice. And when she talked about it, she said that they were talking about this singer that it was based on. And she's like, so yeah, I just took that voice and I did the voice. And it's like, you know, she just rolls into the voice like she does. And it was just like, that's how I did it. And it's just
jazz borrowing. I mean, in other words, the girl that they say, Kane actually borrowed some of her scat boop style from a singer named Baby Esther, I think, who is black. But the visual design was always modeled on Helen Kane, which is what Fleischer and Natwick, the original animators, said. So it's a stretch and a half. You know, there's degrees of separation between the original singer that Kane was mimicking somewhat or borrowing, you know, in jazz. I mean, borrowing is common if you know anything about jazz at all. So it's not whitewashing. So I think it's become mainstream to say everything's being whitewashed, and that's,
they like to say, oh, they stole this from the black community. They stole this from whatever community. It's like, what about inspiration? Does inspiration ever fall into this at all? Right?
Well, like, it's like did Star Wars rip off? Yeah, exactly.
No, I was just gonna say, because like, you know, they used to say like Elvis stole the music from the black community, right? Well, turn around, you go to 40 years ago, Michael Jackson was stealing the moves from the streets, literally from the kids. Do you want to go after him for that?
Yeah, I'm sure. Or better yet, K-pop.
K-pop is derived from Michael. Well, that's why I said K-pop is basically Michael Jackson is church for them. Yeah,
so, manga is derived from Uncle Scrooge and Carl Barks comics.
If you want a compendium of dance moves that Michael borrowed, you watch the Little Prince clip.
Oh yeah, Fosse.
Fosse as the snake. It's almost 100% borrowing.
Yeah, it's a lot of popping and locking.
It's quite not shocking per se. But if you bring up the picture that I've got here, this is the Esther.
This is the one that everybody keeps talking about. Yeah,
and it looks pretty good. Now that being said, first of all, this is one of my pet peeve. Here's my pet peeve, Chris.
All right,
that there's a million events that happen that cause me to learn about shit that I really don't want to learn anything about. So 9/11 caused a whole bunch of white people to learn about Islam in a way that we really don't give a fuck. Like, I did not want to be an expert on the Quran, but suddenly, if you're commenting on it and having a debate, I got to learn it. Like, geez, and I read it, like crying out loud. I have better things to do with my time than learning Islam. And then this pops up. Really? I got to learn about Betty Boop to be able to have a cogent conversation with someone on this topic suddenly.
You know, I
touches none of our lives.
Yeah.
I had that feeling when I did that video on Barbie and the history of Barbie, and I feel like I'm one of the world's foremost leading experts in Barbie right now because the information condensed video.
Well, we got lucky that
and only 10% of everything I learned is actually in the video on the history of Barbie.
Right.
Well, that's pretty typical, right? But like, at least with Barbie, there was a connection with He-Man to where you had a jumping off point. With Betty Boop, here's the thing, and I feel bad because true, there's somewhat of a Popeye connection, but we ain't done a Popeye video since the first video I edited. Go all the way back to our Popeye Jendi Tartakovsky video. So like, yeah, that's the only in you have with this.
I have a new version of that one. I mean,
I have no idea how much you know about Betty Boop, but yeah.
Well, I mean, and also you're dealing with one of the things that I find quite humorous is that for the most part, the black community is already suffused with white DNA. Almost everybody.
Yeah,
it's just that it's a community that has decided that they'd rather identify with their one side of their history as opposed to the other. And here we've got a woman who I guess is allegedly black, but she looks like she has got plenty of white genes in her background. It's a non-issue except for, I guess, people who want to troll the internet.
What do you think about this for a minute, Paul? And I agree that there's room for disagreement on this. And if Paulie was on, he and I would disagree on it also. And that's fine, because it's such a tertiary issue. Who cares, right? I'm not a part of Betty Boop fandom, but the character started out as a dog. She was drawn like a poodle initially when the character first appeared. So why anybody's fighting?
That's true. She was, I believe, a dog for her first appearance.
Like a poodle. So
when you say a dog, like, are we like, is this
like how Mickey Mouse is a mouse?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah, anthropomorphic. Yeah.
An anthropomorphic animal.
I see. I started wondering.
And they just dropped the dog ears and gave her regular ears, and I think she had a different nose or something like that. Yeah.
So she evolved, but it would be like Goofy becoming a person eventually. Kind
of like he did.
I wonder when these things, like what's going on at the source, Paul or anybody, when they say, okay, we're going to cast against type, they'll look similar, but like when they did, it's almost the same thing as the original Ariel from The Little Mermaid. You know what I mean? Like when they cast the black girl. Now, from what I understand, the woman here, this is the woman that's in the remake or this updated story about Betty Boop, right? The woman on screen.
No, this is Betty Boop. This is
Carol, or not Carol.
This is
Helen
Esther Jones, the woman that
Babyface Esther.
Pardon me?
Babyface
Esther. Yeah, that is allegedly the origin of Betty Boop that then became the cartoon character.
Okay. Well, and Helen Kane, we should show a picture of her too, if we really want to be fair, because that's the one the animator said he copied.
Well, that's the one I showed first, but yeah.
Yeah, but nevertheless, this wasn't for the last 100 years almost. Betty Boop as a cartoon character has been a pasty white little doll, right? A little white girl. There was a conscious effort on someone's behalf to say, we're going to cast against type and it's going to be a black girl. Now, from what I understand, the black girl, she's co-producer. This is something she wants to do.
Yeah, this is her property actually.
Well, and I think, it's involved with, here's the other thing is I think that whoever owns the rights to Betty Boop, they're probably on borrowed time.
They signed off on it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm saying they're probably running, they're down to like the last few years before Betty Boop goes into the public domain.
Yes, you're right.
That's the other thing. So they want to beat anybody to the punch who's going to, because what's the first thing that's going to happen when Betty Boop goes into the public domain? We're going to get a fucking Betty Boop horror movie.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a Betty Boop horror movie. And we're going to get a black Betty Boop, a Hispanic Betty Boop.
Winnie the Pooh kills
Winnie the Boop.
And you're probably already getting, there's probably already been plenty of Tijuana Bibles featuring Betty Boop. I'm certain of it.
Now, in this particular case, this is a very talented, I'm trying to remember her name. She's so talented. I forget
her name too. But
she's doing the movie.
Yeah. She's the one who's also producing it.
Yes.
This is a new superpower in Hollywood. She's got the show, the sitcom about the school, the black school, Elementary.
Abbott Elementary?
Abbott Elementary.
I was going to say, you used to talk about it all the time, I thought.
Yeah. The first season was absolutely brilliant, and she's funny. This is an extremely talented person. It's one of the reasons why, apart from the fact that I don't care about Betty Boop.
Yeah.
This is this is in better hands than Mandalorian in the hands of
Filoni.
Not Filoni. Even the guy who directed Favreau. This is in better hands, in my estimation, than Mandalorian in the hands of Favreau, who we all love, right? Apparently, in theory.
Yeah. So I think this is better. Honestly, I will agree with you that this is better than the Velma remake with.
No, not even close.
Okay.
Okay, so I here's my understanding of why there's so much confusion. Okay, so like she was actually an adult when Betty Boop was made, but she was a child actress who had kind of, or performer, I should say, not actress.
Yeah.
Who had kind of faded away as she got older. So here's my problem and issue with them trying to claim that Betty Boop, and this is why there's a confusion. Because as somebody just pointed out earlier, I can't remember if it was Paul or Chris was going to point out, they did get sued.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what happened was they tried to claim, oh, no, it's not based on you. It's based on this other person. Here's the problem with that is she was famous when she was a child. Betty Boop is a flapper. Okay. In fact, that was her original name. Like, for anybody who knows, she's very set in a time period. Tell me the last time you've seen a Betty Boop anything.
Yeah.
You haven't, because there hasn't ever been one. She's never done anything outside of the shorts, really, and little appearances like Roger Rabbit, because she's kind of like Hello Kitty.
Yeah,
women just,
I was just thinking
women
that.
just love her on. She's a great little icon, but they don't stop to really think about what she fucking represents. And if you want to turn around and argue that she was based on somebody who was a child performer, then we're going to get into a whole nother level of shit, because let's be real here. Betty Boop was one of the most racy, I didn't say racist, racy. There's some racist cartoons of hers too. That's the other problem we could get into here. There's some very racy segments in the original Betty Boop. In fact, she's flashed the audience a couple times supposedly in history too. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Her dress falls down a lot. There's a lot of quick little moments. She's very sexually open.
If that's in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. People forget about what era she comes from and what she represents.
If you want to bring Betty Boop into the modern world for a modern audience, she needs to be an OF girl. As in
right. Or just have Macaulay Culkin say nothing happened between them.
Actually, now that I think about it, this is actually probably more true, because you just have her sing WAP.
And this is the other thing that I don't think it's particularly relevant, but it is true to the era, is that vaudeville, everyone stole from everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
You think of the comedy acts, which is the thing that I'm most interested in. Oh my gosh. The variations on Who's on First that other comedy duos came up with on their own, but were basically copies of the original. I mean, there were hundreds. So it's part of the era.
Yeah.
Morning, Paulie.
I think at the end of the day. Oh, Paulie, there he is. At the end of the day, here's what in a nutshell. Helen Kane, who the character was based on, saw Esther. Yes, it was.
Wasn't based on the
sir. Saw
Were
Esther.
you the one that brought this up this morning? I'm really curious.
No,
I did.
No, I didn't.
We've been through this already.
I've even said you need to be on here. So give me a minute.
Well, I'm here.
Let me finish my thought.
Well, you've had like 20 minutes to finish your thought.
Who the animator
finish,
it on.
I only have a couple of minutes.
Let me just say my statement.
Yep.
Helen Kane saw Esther perform in 1928. She probably borrowed the baby style from hits like I Want to Be Loved by You. When she later sued Fleischer, she was claiming Betty Boop stole her act. But she, in fact, borrowed from Baby Esther's act. So an argument can definitely be made that it originates all the way back to Babyface Esther. Or I don't remember her full name, but I know that was her stage name, Babyface Esther. But at the end of the day, when the animator did say, we based it on Helen Kane, he wasn't trying to avoid saying, well, we didn't want to say we based it on a black girl. Of course not. It wasn't a racist thing. He was just saying, this is who we based it on, Helen Kane. And of course, Helen Kane, as I show in the picture right there, she was out there promoting herself as Betty Boop, but eventually, things went sideways. So go ahead, Paulie. I know you've got some comments you want to share, but no, I didn't bring this up. Paul did.
No, I don't think it was me, but whatever.
No, Tom took credit already.
I did.
Oh, oops. Sorry. Okay. Well, see, I don't even know.
It was the other bald white dude.
The other one. Paulie, are you there?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. You had to take as well.
Yeah. No, listen, the reason why I'm coming in hot with Chris, because Chris was all over me last week because I dared to call this I actually said this was part of how Hollywood whitewashes characters, and it does. and it's proven all the time. So that was it. And you came after me and like, all right, well, that's cool. I mean, it is my article. I mean, you can write your own article, and I base it off of sources. So
I even liked your article. I think I even retweeted it.
And in my article, I even said
this wasn't a whitewash in the same model of like what you were doing with Zorro. That was my take.
It's in the headline that I wrote it. The comparisons where they are comparable and where they're not. I even said that. I even said where it's layered and where it's nuanced.
I'm going to retweet myself, and it's in that thread, and anybody watching can go look at it and eat up and give you some more traffic, sir.
Oh no! Listen. I just said I used 3 examples: Zorro, Betty Boop, and Zapata. That's it. And each one was different. Andre knows the Zorro shit. Right. And this thing with Betty Boop is that, and Tom's right, this goes back to the jazz age. And at the end of the day, it all goes back to a black art form. That's it. Jazz was black. It's no big deal. It is what it was. Fleischer and all of them, they all went to the jazz club to see Cab Calloway, Minnie the Moocher, Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, the creators of modern time. It was beautiful. And it's shared. And I even said that. Right? Is that it's a great thing when culture and music is shared and you get to pick and choose, like you said, people using shit. But at the end of the day, this was a real person. I'm curious to see if Quinta uses that and gets a little, is she going to get meta, like where it's like Fleischer creates the character and the character comes to life? Be very interesting.
She's talented. I mean, and as Paul said, it's probably going to be very good because she's already got a funny series. The woman knows what she's doing.
Yeah, let's hope for the best here. It'll be interesting.
And all I said was it's going to be, and it's definitely going to be better than Velma. That was my take on the whole.
Yeah, but I mean, look, man. Listen, I respect you, but you like you said, you came after, which I try to never do with my co-host on Midnight's Edge. You threw it out there on our little Twitter world that it's not a whitewash. It's like, yo, read the article. Does anyone read anymore? That it's like.
Do you think I didn't read your article?
Well, Chris did.
Well, if you read the article, you know that I didn't say. I said in the world of Hollywood, what has Hollywood always done, particularly in those decades, is they whitewashed every origin. There's not. I mean, it's not a controversial. That's just what it was.
Yeah. I don't think anyone is disagreeing with that historically.
And if you read the article and disagree, that's cool too.
I don't think Elvis Presley stole anything from the black community.
Elvis Presley is a whitewash.
Yeah.
No, it's time to move on.
Paulie, I appreciate your stance. And to be fair, if you go back and watch the replay, I think I said 2 or 3 times, Paulie should be here because he has a take different from mine. I did say that. I respect you, pal.
I'm just juggling with Romy getting back.
He did say that. Yeah.
And we're gonna do some Memorial Day stuff.
Yeah,
that's why I wasn't even on here.
What are you doing today, Paulie?
Why am I gonna? You know what? It's funny because Barry and all these people coming after me in the chat. When I get a little excited, when I get emotional, why do I got to take a chill pill?
I'm Don't passionate. Look at the chat. Ignore the chat.
I'm fucking passionate. Ignore the chat. As Tom gets, as anyone else gets.
None of us here is asked you guys.
I'm just talking to particularly my friend Barry. It's like, yo, what up? Don't you want me to get passionate about some shit just because you don't agree? Today's not the day. It hasn't been this week.
Oh no, it just started. Wait a minute.
No. I should calm down.
Well, yeah, we'll get it out of the way early.
I love your hot-blooded passions.
Yeah, and as I said, Quinta is a star on the rise, and she's going to do a great job of it.
Yeah. Well, she better hope so. Yeah. Let's see what you guys are talking about. We got Bucky Cat out there in the chat, who's been here for 38 months. How you doing, Bucky? And then we got Dark King, who says Glenn Miller style. Pardon me, Tom. Is that the Chattanooga?
No, that's great.
Yes.
That's where I'm at, Chattanooga. By the way, the choo-choo is like 3 miles down the road.
Really?
That's the cat who ate your choo-choo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chattanooga choo-choo.
Chattanooga
I'm a huge fan of jazz, right? And its origins in the decades. Glenn Miller opened up so many avenues. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Glenn Miller,
just picked up
Benny Goodman. I'm a big Benny Goodman fan.
I just picked up the Glenn Miller Story soundtrack this weekend for $1.
That's great. I've been listening over and over at work to this Japanese jazz guitarist called Toshiki Soejima. I know I'm butchering
Paul
it,
just met him.
What?
Yeah. I was there. I was there with him.
No, Chato was at the Glenn Miller concert in 1939.
Okay. Now that
anyhow,
I'll take
you're
it.
saying.
Go ahead.
No, I gotta finish reading the super chat here.
Yeah,
it says, note, I'm not implying that Mr. Chato has ever pulled a train. Behave. Actually, he probably has.
He's a man.
No, I'm kidding. He was the caboose. That's the problem. Or the,
Welcome back.
The engine, or whichever one's the front. Willie is here. How you doing, Willie? He's hanging out in New Zealand. This is greetings from New Zealand. I know I'll get hate for this from the chat and or panel, but I loved Mandalorian Grogu. Well, I think Paulie and I were the only two on the panel who've seen it, and we didn't hate it. So you're in fairly good company. It's a very mixed bag, and we're about to get into the box office aspect of it. But overall, the film itself, I thought was fine. I thought it served its purpose. It didn't harm anything outside the world. I thought it was an entertaining 2 hours plus a little bit longer than it should have been. But hey, overall, fun was had.
Basically, it didn't damage the brand any further. So that makes it a win.
I think it's actually pulling slightly ahead of Solo now.
Yeah, we'll have to see here in just a moment. We're going to check into that. So
it's
hang on to that
at the end, but yeah.
Hang on to that thought, probably. Miller's in the house. He says Disney must be panicking now because Marvel's next. Well, we'll talk about that in just a few minutes here. I don't think you're going to get as fiery of a doomsday type of, not to be punny, but I don't think you're going to get that kind of a scenario out of us necessarily.
Yeah, I think that we'll get into that, but I think today in Disney, they are breathing a sigh, or at least tomorrow when they return to work, they will be breathing a sigh of relief because this could have gone so much worse.
Absolutely. And
there's no panic at all in Disney today.
No, I think that a lot of that doom and gloom is projected, but that's just me. Trey Brady is here, and he says with $4.99, morning, guys. Did you see the Variety article saying that Obsession made $30.3 million through Monday, a plus 39% increase from its debut? That is true. I did see that, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment, Trey. We got Corleone Rogue, who's been here for 15 months. Thank you for that. And we got Dark King, who says, sorry, Paulie, the modern political climate says if a piece of culture originates from the African-American community, then they own it. Stay out.
Hey, you know what, man? You are absolutely 100% fucking right. That's the problem the last 10 years have done.
Yeah.
Is that they've infected any kind of good-hearted origin stories like, hey, let's uncover this because it's automatic, you'll throw that woke label on there. Or they'll fuck it up with an agenda-driven type of story, whereas like people didn't even. So yeah, I agree, Dark Knight. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say too, but I didn't want to really get too deep into it. It's just like there's a problem here. It's one thing to be like if they were fine with people celebrating certain things. It's the other side of it where they're sitting there like, oh, you just stole it. And it's like, no, like that's why I'm glad Michael showed that he was somebody who didn't care what color you were or what race you were or if you were a man or a woman or whatever. He just wanted to make music for everybody, and that's why I'm glad that movie's doing well. And that'll get us into the box office right after this Rumble rant from Kalekioki, who says 1 out of 2. So there's 2 rants. Thank you so much for that. It's the blackwashing of culture, and you're not racist if you call it out. Please continue to. Hollywood has forced this upon us. Just take a look at the Odyssey. Watch a black person get turned white. Watch them lose all their collective shit. They're such a victimized and disingenuous community. Oh, where's he going?
He's going to walk dogs.
I would say this is for him. At this point, it's insufferable that the race swapping one of the characters is erasure of culture. So I think he actually was kind of siding with Paulie on that one. But then Paulie got up and went.
I think so. I think it's weird because there is to Paulie's point, sort of this rise in this racial element with what's going on sometimes with the stunt casting, etc. Like it's okay even today for Chris Nolan to cast against type for Helen of Troy. But could you imagine and the point's been brought up, I don't know how many times, Black Panther being cast as white, or even Tarzan being cast as black. I mean, it's just never going to happen. So there are certain characters that are, and I'm making a presumption, maybe they will do that. Maybe they'll shock everybody. If they did something like that, then I would think, oh, okay, well, I guess they really are.
Or better yet, where's all the stories that Tarzan was based on a black person? Like, where are those stories? Like,
yeah, I'm still not sure what's going to
convenient?
happen with the Phantom reboot. That is.
I was just going to say, isn't it convenient that that it's never characters like that, right? That could be possibly based on a black person or anything like that. It's always certain ones, only certain ones.
Yeah, and also, and this is important, just look at all of the tension and discord and conflict all of that has brought.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the whole point. This is why someone has been funding it, why they have been doing it, why they have made the popular culture the glue that helps hold a nation together, and how they have made those things divisive. And that's what we're seeing right here.
Well, I guess, but it kind of, and I was trying to make this point earlier, it bothers me that it even becomes a discussion about, say, Betty Boop, for instance, right? Like, who cares? Who cares? John Wayne was not Genghis Khan, right? I mean, who cares? So if you're either okay with it, as long as it's ubiquitous and goes both ways, but we're also hearing from that same side that defends it, only a gay person or only a trans person can portray, when they went after ScarJo for wanting to portray a transgender person, and she finally bowed out of it because she didn't want all the heat. And I get that these people aren't monolith who are this way, but either we're okay with it everywhere or everybody's got to stay the same.
Well, I mean, and I think if we're going to compare it to jazz, which I don't think is a bad comparison, is that we're now in the business of being very picayune.
Picayune, that's a great word.
And that bothers me more than anything, in the sense that, yes, and I'm going to get killed for this. Yes, jazz is absolutely a black art form, but it was klezmer that brought in the wind instruments, and a lot of people associate jazz with that collection of stand-up bass, piano, drum, and clarinet. And it was a really wonderful merging of the historical musical background of two downtrodden peoples that were suffering from racism, Jews and blacks. And jazz is a wonderful merging of those two cultures. And when you think of jazz, you do think of the klezmer influence.
Right.
It's there. And I don't know what the black community, I'm not part of it. I don't know what their thoughts are with regards to the merging of those two cultures to create Gershwin style.
Well, that's a lot of the music and art we have today is just that.
And Tin Pan Alley was run by Jews. So, the popularization of black jazz, the klezmer jazz, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what kind of complaints there were. I don't know where the racism was back at the time, but the merging of these two musical cultures to create ostensibly what we consider jazz is a wonderful moment in time. And here we're arguing about picayune stuff.
Well, and here's the whole thing about stealing and all this bullshit and bringing race into it. One thing people don't bring up is that Chuck Berry stole everything.
Yeah. Oh, well.
He fucking literally just went in and heard these kids playing the guitar and singing the song. He just went and ripped them off.
Yeah.
But nobody ever brings that shit up.
Sure. And half the British stole from Buddy Guy.
Yeah. I get all that. I think there's a point to be made about going back to, say, Nolan. That's something historical. It reminds me a little bit about, and even the Betty Boop thing reminds me of, what's that guy's name? Miranda, that does Hamilton, right? He's not white, and Hamilton was white. So you have a
Latino
artist portraying a white president. Of course, he's rapping and singing. We know what that is, right?
And it's a Broadway show, so it's a
Broadway show. It's a pastiche. It's not, it's not supposed to be a historical thing. But then when you have somebody like Nolan come in, who is the guy that's supposed to sort of bring reality to all the myth, right? He's we've gone over this. He's very
well, that's the problem, Chris, right? Like, yeah, you have Nolan, who comes with a pedigree, right? He has a brand. When you hear Nolan, you expect, he's going to do the research. It's going to be this very historically accurate, down to the nails in the boat. Like, no, it's like he's doing this alternate feminism fetish version of fucking.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
You think about
we'll see how it's going to turn out, but like,
which means something is trivial and it's inconsequential, right? It's like worrying about things that don't matter.
Yeah, and I thought Hamilton sucked.
Okay,
but I've been trying to get us into the box office.
No, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine, Chris.
I'm ready. I got it up, boys.
I know you have. You've had it up for a while. You took that blue pill and you've been waiting. So
but
good morning.
It's going to dissipate.
So yeah, we got to hurry up. We got to do the thing. Hurry up.
If your box office is up for more than 4 hours, contact your doctor.
That's correct. So Mandalorian and Grogu so far in its 3-day quote unquote total, the 3-day total. This is just US, right? 81 million. So it's done, I think 100. What's total?
130 million.
30. I was gonna say 40, but yeah.
Let's just pause there and address that before we move on, because it's going to have like a 5-day weekend by the time all is said and done. But here for the 3-day, it's at 81 million.
This is good. Isn't this supposed to be good?
It is amazing, is my point, because basically you have to compare not with what Star Wars should be doing in an ideal world, but with the actual reality which we inhabit. And in the reality which we inhabit, the movie was projected in the long-range forecast to open to 80 million. So that's less than this. That was the long-range projection. Now, many pointed out at the time that 80 million, that's horrible for Star Wars, lowest Star Wars opener ever, lower than Solo. And yeah, this is true. All of this is true. However, this is now a severely, severely damaged brand. And everyone knows this, and everyone acknowledges that, even Disney themselves. I always maintain that if the movie can open to 80 million in such an environment, that, if anything, is a win, was my argument. And I disbelieved that it would be able to open to 80 million. And indeed, going into this weekend, the projections were revised downwards.
Mm-hmm.
Some people had it open at 60 million, were their estimates. But lo and behold, it's back up to 80 million, the actuals, and it's even 81. So it's actually higher than the long range thing. Like when you look at all the reviews, everything like that, I know it's not amazing, but I have to say I am happy on Disney's behalf, because these numbers are better than they by rights should be.
Well, the more I'm learning
this is
about
a damaged brand. Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, the more I learn about it, the more I see things here. And I'm standing by the whole thing that scriptdoctor had said, and I agree with him that this is basically a lost leader to get the original fans back. Because regardless of whatever the gripes have been about it, it really boils down to this story is directed towards boys and dads. And there's hardly any female characters in it. There's no main female character other than basically Sigourney Weaver, who literally pops up like 3 or 4 times in the entire film. In that respect, I believe this movie was made basically to do that, to get some goodwill back and sell some freaking toys. Other than that, I don't think the box office was as big a deal for them, because the more I'm hearing about it, the more it sounds like this show or this movie was basically to amortize season 4 of the show. Because I guess, like, for instance, like in the beginning of the movie, I'm sitting here scratching my head going, when did Mando ever cross paths with this character from Rebels? Because it starts off with like and somebody else pointed out last night on Pros or on Valiant stream that it could have been that could have been the character that was kind of set aside in case they wanted Cara Dune. But no, that's not the case. They wanted to put that character specifically in the movie. Why? So they had the asset for season 4. because to create a full CGI asset was going to cost them a lot of money, I guess. So this is basically amortizing a lot of stuff for season 4. It's probably another reason why the Razor Crest is back, because guess what? They don't have to build another set in the ship then. They can just reuse the old one. I'm starting to see shades of Star Trek and Star Wars now. It's like, wait a minute here.
Yeah.
So yeah, like at the end of the day, is the movie bad? No, but it's also, I acknowledge that there are going to be some fans who are not going to be into it. I acknowledge the fans who say it's no better than a couple episodes of the TV show, because it basically is just that, 3 episodes of a TV show put together, which to me, I guess I don't think is as taboo as for some reason a bunch of other people do. It's like, I can't be hypocritical about that, or I'd have to bitch about Secret of the Sword. Because we had this stuff all the time when I was a kid, where we'd get 3 or 4 episodes of a TV show crammed together, thrown in theaters, and then lo and behold, 3 months later, we'd sit down to watch a brand new show, and there's the first 4 or 5 episodes are the exact same things we just saw in the theater. It's like Clone Wars is guilty of that too. So yeah,
what I don't understand, and I think really the big story within our universe is, why are so many people wishing for this thing to fail?
they want it to be a lesson. They
I
want
don't get
to
that.
go. Yeah.
No, I can answer that.
Yeah.
Hell hath no fury like a fanboy scorned. These are people that have been hurt, that have been chased away, that have been told that they are no good, that they're all just garbage, and they're deeply problematic, and they basically need to leave fandom because they're not welcome. And this was done against them, using their favorite property that many had built their identity around, which suddenly was taken from them and weaponized against them and used to gaslight them. That means that they're angry, they're hurt, and they want to see what hurt them suffer. It's a purely emotional response that you just have to have sympathy with.
There's multiple reasons, and they all fall under that category, Andre, whether it's Pedro Pascal's comments, whether it's firing Gina Carano, whether it's Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, there's so many reasons, whether it's Disney groomers. I mean, there's so many reasons that people were hoping that this movie wouldn't do as well as it did. And they're just having to eat crow because it's actually doing a little better than Solo, which is an extremely low bar. But as you've said many times, Tom, the movie, or Lucasfilm, is already licensed. They got a bunch of licensing deals. The movie's probably just about paid for with the Taco Bell, Burger King, and everything else. And they'll make money off the toys. And I agree that it's a loss leader. This is about repairing the damage. So I don't think Star Wars is dead, but I think it's still in critical condition.
Well, I don't think you can compare it to Solo unless you're making the parallel that Solo is like Captain Marvel.
No. It's like that's the lowest performing Star Wars.
Yeah. But I mean, Solo is worse in the same way that Captain Marvel would have been worse if it wasn't stuck in the middle of a certain amount of success.
Yeah, I take your point. Sure. I only mentioned Solo because that was the bar.
Sure.
Beat lowest performing Star Wars.
But other people have also mentioned Solo. So I think it's fair to comment on that. I think if Solo came out now, I think could probably perform worse than Mandalorian and Grogu.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm glad you kind of brought that up too, Paul, because this is one thing that I think has been bothering me, and maybe even Paulie if he was on screen, is that people are trying to compare this to Solo in certain ways. And I'm just like, there is no real comparison here.
No, there isn't.
Especially the people that are trying to say that Solo is better in some way. I'm like, how? How can it even objectively or subjectively be better to you? Because Solo took a character that everybody loved and basically destroyed him. And made a shitty movie that nobody wanted to see in the first place. And now you're trying to compare that to this, which is basically a harmless TV show that affects nothing. But then that's your gripe, is that it has no bigger weight. It's like, well, so what do you want here? Right? Like, and that's where I'm kind of stuck in this middle of ground of people too, is going like, well, what is it exactly do you expect out of this? Do you want it to be a Skywalker Empire Strikes Back level saga thing where you had to have seen all 5 seasons of Mandalorian and Boba Fett and Ahsoka all mixed together and be set up for whatever's to come next and wait 3 years to see what happens? Because that's the alternative. So I'm still trying to figure out what half the problems are with this movie, but at the same time, I think Andre's right. This is what I was saying last night, is there's a lot of people who are like, happy that this is supposedly a disaster. I'm like, I don't see the disaster.
There's no disaster here.
I don't see it. I really don't. And I'm going to call it out right now. If I was Disney tomorrow morning, Andre's 100% right. This did exactly what they expected it to do. And to me, that's a win for them, because guess what? The alternative was this thing tanking at like $30-40 million. Then Disney would be fucking panicking.
I'm going to actually go a little bit further, Tom. I'm not going to say that this did what they expected This did 10% better.
It did above
than
expectations.
They
Yes.
Yeah. This is a pure win for Disney. And by any kind of conventional box office metric, if you just look at all the numbers in isolation, no, the numbers are not great relative to where Star Wars traditionally have been. But if you now suddenly bring reality into the equation and you acknowledge that Star Wars is no longer where it has been, it is where it is. And anything Star Wars right now should be expected to flop. Against that backdrop, this thing is actually a win. Even financially, I will argue that this is a win, and a big one. And here's why. Compare against Solo, because right now the numbers are similar, and we will see in the second week how this movie holds up, if it's ultimately going to end up grossing more or less than Solo. That is too early to say at this point. But what is for certain is that Solo cost a hell of a lot more money. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is that for The Mandalorian, this was all about amortizing the costs of another season. So they were going to have to do that anyway. So those money were being spent one way or the other. Either it would be a pure loss for Disney Plus, or they could put it in the box office and get some money back again. That's what they did. But all of the massive startup costs and everything like that you have with other movies, they don't have there. They have the casting exists, they're in place, they're under contract. The designs, they are there, special effects, it's all there. It's all reusing assets which already exist, just rushing them up for the big screen. That's pretty much it. Whereas compared to Solo, that was starting everything from scratch. They had to start from scratch, they had to build sets, everything like that from scratch. Very little from scratch in this movie right here. So this is less costs than would have been something like Solo. Plus, you have the added benefit that now you can just amortize it against the cost of the TV series. It's all good. This is a pure win. This is a win for them. And you can also ask the really big question. Now, after this movie has come out, is the brand stronger or weaker? Or just the same? If it's just the same or a little bit stronger, those are good news. What the Star Wars brand definitely isn't right now is in a weaker spot than it were. If anything, you now have so many people that went to see this movie. Granted, not everyone, but enough people had a good time seeing this that they now may be more open to go seeing the next movie, which comes out in exactly 1 year. That's when what's called Star Hunter, Star Killer, whatever. Starfighter. There you go. Star something.
Does that come out next, or does the seven?
Well,
I thought the re-release of Star Wars is next.
I think it's the same month.
Well, that may be next, but in 1 year from now, I don't know which is next or not, but 1 year from now, and this thing right here, it's a win for them. Simple as that. This is a win. There's no disaster here.
That's what I was kind of getting at too. Is that's the case too, because they're gearing up for the 50th anniversary is next year.
It's February for the original trilogy.
Okay, so you get. I don't know if it's the trilogy or just the first film. I haven't been able to confirm. I know they're doing all three movies, but
the next original movie to come out in theaters. That's the Starfighter, and that's in exactly 1 year.
So my whole thing was. Oh, go ahead.
Chris, well, what the plan is, the original Star Wars comes out in February. Yep. Then May 25th is Empire.
Oh, they are doing all three of them.
I think so. I mean, I believe so. But I know Starfighter's not until May. So February is the original cut of the original theatrical.
See, because I was not clear, because I do know they did the scans for all of them and they're doing the work on all three. But I had not heard if they're releasing all three. I thought they might correspond them with the anniversaries like they have the other re-releases.
Oh, that would be smart. Yeah.
Because I mean, you're shooting your wad all at once if you do all three. But then again, if you want to get honestly, you want to get the fans back, you got to re-release those original versions.
Somebody just notified me that the current theatrical plan does not include restored versions of the 80s movies.
Does this latest new Star Wars include Betty Boop in the F-15?
No,
I hope not.
no, but if George Lucas is in charge, it would.
We're gonna do that in the specialized edition.
Like that?
That's the extra special edition.
Loved it. I think
but yeah,
this movie was vanilla. I mean, this movie was not worth panning, and not something to get super excited about. Disney played it very safe, middle of the road.
Oh my gosh, look who's here.
It didn't have that Star Wars magic for a lot of people, but I think it's getting good enough word of mouth that it'll double its budget, I think, for sure. I don't know that it'll hit 400.
Well, here's our actual true Star Wars fan from Midnight's Edge. If there's anybody who's the biggest Star Wars fan of all, and this is because I've seen how many lightsabers this man has, and it is a lot. Like Mexican Iron Man, how you doing, Mikey? I was kind of almost hoping you'd show up, considering Star Wars was on the menu. He goes, I have 4 friends that went to see this. The kids liked it. The adult parent original Star Wars fans, they saw it, think it sucked intergalactic outer rim ass. And Mikey, here's the thing. I kind of went into it like I have been able to. You want to know how I've been able to get through this? I did this video, and I don't know why I took it down. Maybe I took it down for some other reason, but it was years ago, and because you liked it, Andre. It was about how basically I had divorced Star Wars. And I don't know if you remember
the breakup was final compared
yes.
with a toxic ex-girlfriend. That video is still up.
Is it? Okay, so yeah, so my whole thing was like, you have the original films, you had the special edition was like, you meet up with your old high school sweetheart again, things are great, and then you go your separate ways. Then the prequels happen, you get together again, you think things are going great, but then stuff just doesn't feel right. Something's off. You know what I mean? Like, just it's not quite right. So you go your separate ways again, and then years and years later, you're like, okay, we're more mature, we can get back together, we can make this work. Hell, you even got your old hairstyle back, aka, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, all that kind of business, right? But this bitch has turned into a psycho cunt. Okay, so now you're like, what the fuck am I dealing with here? And that's why I said, I'm at this point now where I have divorced myself from Star Wars. I have to. I am done with it. I will observe it from a distance and be like, I hope it has a good life. But at this point, I am not buying any more Star Wars shit. I won't see a Star Wars movie or show unless Andre says I absolutely have to, or it really looks good. At that point, my give a shits for Star Wars had went out the fucking window. So I went into this with the lowest of lowest expectations, and I had a pretty goddamn good time. And I can acknowledge all the faults with it. It is nothing but more than 3 episodes of a show crammed together. Yes, there's a bunch of cutesy wootsy Baby Yoda stuff, but at the same time, goddamn, if I didn't have a good time like I used to with old Star Wars, where there was nothing more going into it than you get to see a bunch of pew-pews and action and a few laughs and aliens and spaceships, and it's Star Wars, right? Like in that aspect. Now, is it like the old school Star Wars? Sure, I can sit here and accept an argument that it's not that. It isn't. It's never going to be that anymore. But I feel like people are being very harsh on Jon Favreau. They're taking it out on the whole franchise. They taking, like Andre's right. I think people are taking out their disgruntled problems with the franchise out on this movie specifically for some reason, and I don't think it's fair. I know
the exact reason. It's not. It's an emotional reaction.
It is, and it's a very emotional reaction, and I understand.
Understandable.
It's understandable, and I was just going to say, and I understand where it comes from, but I still got to have to say that I don't think it's fair because this movie doesn't deserve it. It is not that bad. It is not what a lot of people are making it out to be. So, and again, Mikey, I'm not saying you're going to like it. You might not. But
he just said he's going
to go see it. I just wanted to keep you in mind that I want you to keep in mind that you just go in with the expectations of knowing what you're going to get. Because I went in with none. I went with the lowest of expectations. Because look, I tuned out of season 3 of Mandalorian the moment I saw fucking Katie Sackhoff sitting in that throne. I'm going, what the hell's going on here?
Well, we all did.
Yeah. So I had nothing going into this. I had no investment at all.
I get it. It would be great if Mike could go check it out with Max, but I know they're not in town together this week, but that would be interesting to see what Max thinks of it as well.
Well, we'll see how it rolls this next weekend.
Next weekend, that's the real story here, because there's multiple hurdles here, but box office wise, I cannot say anything other than this number, 81 million. That's a huge win for this movie. It's a massive win, not by conventional metrics, but by reality and where the franchise is right now. That number is a win. And I would say that the magic drop-off number to look out for next week is 65%. If it is able to drop, because that's what Solo did. That's where Solo dropped.
Right.
If it is able to drop below Solo, then this is an unmitigated hit on Disney's hands.
But yeah, going off on that, and I totally agree with you, Andre, is that I think if this wasn't under the Star Wars banner, it would, you know, like this sci-fi Western fantasy movie made at 81 million, this would be the talk of Hollywood.
Hell yeah.
You know, but because it is Star Wars and it is a film, it is it's soft for Disney and Lucasfilm. I'm being a little honest here.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to, you know, the mega openings, but that is all on them. That's their fault for the last 10 years of you know, major mediocre films. So they're just getting back into trying to release movies. It's also too, they've created this ecosystem of where Star Wars lives, and that's Disney Plus and now sometimes films. So, man, you know, really, guys, this film, if they had planned it right, this film should have came out right after Mando season 2.
Yeah.
Oh God, I said that.
Yeah.
I said that we'd be having a completely different conversation, and I've said this on every podcast since I saw it. We'd be having a completely different conversation had this come out in between season 1 and 2, and or right after season 2, like you just said, Paulie. That's the thing. The moment Book of Boba Fett dropped and kind of ruined all that, and whether it was a Gina Carano effect for some people or not, between that, Ahsoka, and the 3rd season of Mandalorian, that just kind of showed a lot of people that, yeah, that's why the Acolyte wasn't as jarring for certain people, because it's like, yeah, we expected this. You know, it's like
after the Lizzo Jack Black episode,
yeah.
Right?
So to me, like, and I'm going into it with all that, right? I'm going into this with that, and I understand people's reaction to it, and they want to take it out on this, but it's like, I got to remind people, like, guys, this is Jon Favreau here. This is the guy who tries, and I can tell in the movie he's trying desperately to go, look, guys, it's for boys again. Like, that's kind of it's blatant.
Yeah, and on that level, absolutely. There's a father and son story. There's no agenda. There's no, you know, none of that. I mean, honestly, there's hardly any women in this movie. And it skewed very heavy male, and it did well in the ethnic demographics did really well. And so I'm curious to see the next 2 weeks before January 9th, June 9th.
Yeah, technically doesn't get any real competition until Masters of the Universe. But
I feel like, when is that coming out?
What
June
about
5th.
June 9th.
What about this number
5th.
2 flick, man?
I was just going to get to that. I was just going to make sure anybody else has anything else to say about Mandalorian and Grogu.
I have one thing, and that is for the people who were not complaining so much, but mentioning the dropping the ball of Blade, where all we want to see is vampire slaying and we're happy for an hour and a half. Right. I based on what you just said, Tom, that sounds like an absolutely fine Star Wars movie.
You want to know what you just
described? If you're prescribing to the Blade trajectory, please just give us Blade slicing through vampires. That's all we want. Stop with all this complicated shit. Your description of Mandalorian Grogu sounds like an absolutely perfect Star Wars movie.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because it is basically that, right? Yeah. It's like you walk in. It is, if anything, it's all that what you just said.
Yeah, and that's fine by me.
It's more than the show was sometimes, is kind of what I was going to say. It was like, it almost felt like this was more of what they promised us initially, what the first season felt like, and the second season kind of felt like, than what the show is now. Because it really is. You get in, you're dropped in the middle of a. It's almost like a Mission Impossible movie, basically put into a
James Bond start. Yeah,
James Bond type of thing.
Indeed,
you dropped right into a middle of an adventure he's in, and then of course that just sets up the next thing, which sets up the next thing, and it's a quest, mission quest. Well, I admit that completely, but throughout this whole thing, because that's what Mandalorian Grogu was, right? He's a bounty hunter. Right. He's doing his job, and so in that, it's that. Plus, you have this double father-son story going on at the same time, paralleling Jabba the Hutt and his son, and Mando and Grogu. So you have that going on, as well as the Empire stuff going on in the background too. So there's all this stuff going on, but I feel like I'm defending this movie so hardcore, but it isn't as bad as everybody's making it out to be. And Paulie knows what I'm talking about, and I know he's been frustrated with it too. It's just,
yeah, I mean, it's to Chato's point. It's like, well, they just gave you what you guys wanted,
right?
Because there's a huge, argument section in the fandom where it's like, I just want Star Wars, I just want action, whatever it was. Favreau just gave it to you. Granted, it's not like the perfect last act, and I said for myself, I could have used 15 minutes to be cut off, but and it had heart. Worked on many levels, and I was surprised how well done the fighting was and the action, particularly the first half of the movie.
Speaking of the fighting and action and stuff, I'm willing to bet that if you take out the Death Star explosions in the other Star Wars films, this movie definitely has the highest body count of any Star Wars film.
Oh, right.
Maybe even Rogue One. Maybe even Rogue One. Yeah, like within the first 5 minutes, Mando takes out like God knows how many people, and then he has zero fucks to give about taking somebody out. Like he has no like moral quandaries about any of that shit in this movie.
Which goes back to the first few episodes of season 1 of Mando, which I rewatched before seeing this film. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed myself, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed myself, and I realized, there's some story issues, but then I could just start nitpicking. It was an IMAX, sold out, people are having fun. I don't know what to tell you. I want to go see it. I'm going to go see it again.
I could say more, but move on.
Yeah, let's move on, because Obsession is actually the big surprise. Actually, I want to take one moment before we get deep into Obsession and just take one look at the top 6 specifically, because if you take out Mando and Grogu and Devil Wears Prada, guess what you have? A perfect, great weekend at the box office with a very diverse set of films that are not sequels, prequels, spin-offs, anything like that. The only one you could closely even say was Michael, because once you take the sequel of Devil Wears Prada out of it and Mandalorian and Grogu, the other films, in Mortal Kombat 2 as well, I meant, because Boosters, I don't know what this movie is, but it's a movie that's made for its audience, okay? It's a gay whatever romp, they're loving it, let them have it. Same thing with Passenger, I'm hearing good things about that. Sheep Detectives, people are loving the shit out of this movie, right? We've talked about Michael to death, I don't need to bring that up anymore. We've got movies that are all original, people are enjoying the shit out of them, and this is a good thing for the box office.
You're 100%. I love Boosters. Huge audience score. Didn't make as much money as they hoped. It only cost $20 million. I think at the end of the day, it'll cover costs. But this guy is a unique filmmaker. Got a great cast. Obsession is making history, guys. So
so Obsession is the latest horror film. I can't remember who made it, but
it's not
A24. Is it A24? I was gonna say, okay, it is A24.
I know. I think it is. But these are all. I don't think any of these actors have been in anything else. There's one actor that you'll recognize, and the rest I think are all newcomers. It's a monkey ball movie, we talked a little bit about it, but
which movie? Yeah, we talked a little, but it's Obsession. Yeah, so it's basically become the sleeper hit of the season. And we don't see very often these kind of movies, sleeper hits like this, and part of it's mainly just because it's horror, I'm sure, but I think this goes along with, what we always say, a rising tide, raises all ships or boats, or however you want to put it. This is where, the good things with Michael, and, you've got Devil Wears Prada doing very well and stuff like that. I haven't seen Obsession. I don't know much about it. Like you said,
Blumhouse. I said
it's
it
wrong. Blumhouse. Okay. I knew it was one or the other. It was either A24 or Blumhouse, but for some reason I thought it was Blumhouse, but I second guessed myself.
So the whole thing is just sort of this wish casting. This guy's got a crush on a girl that he works with, and he has for a long time, but he doesn't have the balls to ask her out. And he's going to give her this little wish, like a candy bar toy or something, a willow branch bar or something. And he's going to give it to her, but he doesn't have the guts to give it to her. I don't know why. It's just some sort of fun little thing. And the trick is you can make one wish when you break it. And he makes a wish that she would love him more than anyone else in the world. And she suddenly becomes the Fatal Attraction obsessed. girlfriend that every guy would not want. I mean, you can watch the trailer. It is shocking. And then she winds up eventually, it takes an extremely dark turn. And, you know, it's ripe for a horror movie like this. And people are really responding to it. It increased. It went up 39% from last week. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I think the movie cost $1 million. It's grossed 54 domestically.
Which makes it one of the most profitable movies of the year percentage wise, like where return on investment is concerned. I mean, this is what you want. This is the dream of any filmmaker and any distributor, that kind of ROI.
Yeah, watch the trailer. It'll rattle you. There's like a teaser, and I think there might be 2 trailers for it, but it's doing great. And if you like horror, I think it's definitely going to be in your wheelhouse. Of course, Michael's still doing well.
But now, Paulie, have you had a chance to see Obsession yet? Has anybody had a chance to see it?
We have not. My reviewer saw it. Gave a glowing, believe it, a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Well, it seems to be a good time to be a horror fan because they're getting a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. It's an embarrassment.
I consider myself more, I used to be, but I'm more of a, there's so many different genres now in comparison that it's like I'm kind of more of a niche horror fan in a sense. But I'm good. It's good to see a movie like this do well. And then Michael coming right on its heels at 20 million in its 5th week of release now. 5th, right? Or 6th? Last week, April. Yeah. 20 million. Nothing to sneeze at. This movie's playing like a Marvel movie should. And on the daily too, it's doing like what you see there. That's pretty good. But also on the daily, it's been bringing in nice chunks of like 5 million here, 6 million there. Like it's crazy. So this movie, I think, is going to be one of the first movies of the year to hit $1 billion, if not one of the biggest movies of the year. I don't know if anybody else has finally seen it besides me and or you did see it this last weekend, didn't you, Chris? You said finally
for Mother's Day. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So at least 3 of us have seen it now.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, it's fun and much like Mandalorian, it doesn't get into the deep ugly.
Well, and we'll see how the sequel handles a lot of that stuff.
I'm hearing a lot of news about that, which I'm happy that I'm hearing some news about.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of stuff too. I mean, of course, we already know they have like 30% of it done.
Yeah.
But they are acknowledging that they probably will doing some flash forward and back, which I wish they had done a little bit in the first film so it doesn't feel so jarring in the second one. But me and other people have said you almost have to, because unless you want to sit there and watch a very depressing movie for 2 hours, we've already got that, the Lifetime movie, basically. So, which I rewatched again and it wasn't not as bad as I remember it being, I guess, but it's still pretty bad. But yeah, so like it'll be interesting to see what they come up with there. But yeah, did anybody see Sheep Detectives yet? I've been meaning to. I just hadn't had a chance to.
No. Again, Sin's Corner gave it a glowing review on our website, like very high marks for that one, and that's found its audience. And I believe that one. I know for sure Project Hail Mary and Super Mario Brothers are number 1 on Apple streaming sales.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and they're still in the top 10 too. On top of it all,
in the top 10.
But the Sheep Detectives is kind of eating Angel Studios lunch. It feels like that should be an Angel Studios movie, but instead they released that stupid fucking cartoon, and now this movie's eating its lunch, and it's going like this feels like it should be a Angel Studios picture.
Hugh Jackman just has got a great agent. He picks so many wonderful projects that you aren't quite sure. He's got this Robin Hood movie coming out next, which I've seen the trailers for. It looks absolutely brutal. And he did that Song Sung Blue. I got to bring up my Neil Diamond boy again. And now doing this Sheep Detectives. He doesn't stay with type. He just does anything. What a treasure.
He doesn't miss too often. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't miss much.
There's some kind of rumor thing about him, something about his personal life that has turned off some people from watching his movies.
I guess unless it's something else I'm completely unaware of. I know that he left his wife him and his wife got a divorce and they were together for like years and years and years. And I think a lot of people were upset about that.
I thought it was him playing Betty Boop. Sorry.
Oh, yes, because he's going to be doing it
Because he's Australian, and that's cultural appropriation. Yep.
And he's doing it in blackface, so
that's right. Didgeridoo, eh?
Betty the Boop. Boopy doopy doopy.
I was gonna say he's just one of those rare talents.
He is. I mean, he's a likable guy.
Triple threat. Well, I don't even care about that. I'm just talking about like what we see on screen, what he's able to pull off. There's maybe you can count him on one hand as far as
Showman was a big
triple threat. Yeah.
I didn't expect Showman to be a big hit.
Wasn't that kind of a sleeper hit too in that sense?
Totally.
So I remember I think
when it first came out, hit number one. Actually,
I don't think it ever did. Yeah, I was going to say it was kind of one of those movies that just kind of came out and nobody really talked about it at first, but then it just kind of stuck around, and then people were like, "Oh, have you seen it? Have you seen it? Have you seen it?" And the music and stuff like that started taking off. But yeah,
he's great.
One of those actors.
He's friends with Jared Kushner. I think that's the problem people don't like. He cheated on his wife during The Music Man, and but he's just a big talent, and he's one of those that I think is I don't know that he brings people like he does. I don't know if he puts butts in seats necessarily.
I'm sure that there's a certain age group of women who find him extremely attractive.
But he's very to Paul's.
He kind of fills that Mel Gibson role in a way, and not exactly, but kind of like like a little
friendlier.
I remember when I was younger, it was you had your certain my mom would always if it was a certain movie if that he was in, you knew Mel Gibson, she'd always say, "Oh, well, you're going to get to see his butt in this one." Ooh, like that kind of stuff. So they all had their little things. Like he's kind of like that now, or like the Burt Reynolds or who, there's 4 or 5 guys that women seem to gravitate towards, whether it's Harrison Ford or whoever. But
he's also Wolverine. I mean,
that helps. Yeah, a lot of these, you have a whole generation of women who have literally grown up with him as Wolverine too. You have that aspect of it as well.
And I think it's fair to say that he's been able to work outside of Wolverine successfully, whereas RDJ has not.
Yeah, that's very much so.
That's true. And Mikey sends in $10. You should just come in if you can, Mike. We miss you.
He's driving.
So guys, obsession is not a new concept. I lived this very story with my smoking hot Puerto Rican ex-girlfriend. Made a wish, handed her my Amex, and life was hell. Morning, noon, and night. I should get royalties. Yeah, she broke your Amex, didn't she?
Well, I just texted him. I just text him. The funny thing is, he's not off because the obsession is not a new concept. Puerto Rican, and the actress in Obsession is Latina.
Oh, geez. So it's typecasting.
No, I don't think the character is. No,
I know. I'm just kidding. Funny, I'm just kidding. So yeah, so good for them and good for Blumhouse. That's what they do. And Michael's hanging in there. Prada's doing well. Have you got a chance to see it yet, Paul? I saw you were all excited about the big shoe.
Right here in our really, really big shoe. I have not. I'm going to wait till it's on streaming.
I'm glad. I'm glad you didn't go to Japan to see the Devil Wears Prada.
We were okay. So yeah. So people don't know. He sends us a picture of this huge fucking Devil Wears Prada shoe. And we're going, that motherfucker just went to Japan to go to the premiere, didn't he?
Yeah, that would be terrible.
It's like, I didn't want to do it in Canada or America because it's not as glitzy as Japan.
I'm telling you, we were whipped onto some schedule as we were bouncing around all over Japan. I had no time to go see a movie.
Right. No, we were just picking on you. But
no, that's fine.
It'd have been funnier if you took a picture of yourself in the shoe, but I don't think you could get to it. I think it was
security would be all.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
I just want to know, how do the Japanese, mosques compare to the mosques in Canada?
The mosques, far fewer.
They're having a hard time over there. That's what
they are, and they're getting the new president of Japan is actually tearing them down.
Oh, geez. So yeah, I'm not real familiar with this Passenger movie, but I've been hearing a little buzz about it. Does anybody know anything about it at all?
Well, I know it's made by Norwegian director.
I was gonna say, I think you mentioned this before.
Yeah. That should be exciting. I mean, this is a director who did just generally good work. Haven't seen it. It's doing pretty well where I'm at, but again, I haven't had the time to see it myself yet.
Be really
I've been
funny if
hearing
it
good
was
things.
if it was a movie about that guy right there is not real. If it was that chick.
Yeah, I just want to know: are they using the Iggy Pop tune?
No,
That's a good
I
question.
would be
not.
surprised.
See,
But
I would.
hey, but
That would be
you never
great.
know.
That's a
Maybe some
one of
Norwegian
my
death
favorite
metal
Iggy
version of
Pop
it.
songs.
It's great. It's a horror.
It's his best song.
You might be.
Lust for Life's his best song.
I say Lust for Life's pretty good. He's got a few other ones too. But
He's
yeah.
got a bunch.
I like The Passenger.
Because I'm a punk rocker.
But yeah, Top Gun came out again and did okay. They had both movies. Was it a double feature or did you have to go see them both separately? I don't know. I didn't check.
You're talking about Shrek and Top Gun?
Yeah, Top Gun did well. And that was my big question about Shrek is like, okay, so why are we doing Shrek? But okay. I don't know. I'd be worried about Shrek 5 if I was them because that re-release of Shrek did not do the greatest.
Why are they re-releasing Shrek?
25th anniversary.
The anniversary.
Okay.
But if I was them, this would be testing waters, and I'd be like, maybe we should either pull the budget back on Shrek 5 and or rethink that.
Well, hasn't it been on streaming forever now?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing is...
What's going on?
I'm not saying that Shrek does not have an audience, but it has kind of been played out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have 3 or 4 regular movies, plus the 2 spin-off Puss in Boots movies.
Puss in Boots, yeah.
And to me, Puss in Boots was probably the logical place to end it because you ended it with a hit, and people didn't expect that to hit the way it did.
And
So
down here we have Animal Farm, which you were comparing the Sheep Detective to.
Yeah.
So this is toast.
Horrible.
You think real quick on the Shrek thing. Isn't it DreamWorks that does How to Train Your Dragon?
Yep.
Yes.
And now they've done a live action. How long before we get the live action Shrek?
You know, Chris, I'm surprised they didn't go that route instead of Shrek 5.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because you could just that's the beauty of doing a live action Shrek is half the people can do their voices.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not really live action.
Yeah, no. So like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing is you may have to recast what's her face. I just forgot her.
Cameron Diaz.
Maybe not though. I haven't seen her lately. I mean, if you can make her look young enough, maybe. But like otherwise,
well, they're all going to look fake. It's all.
And maybe John Lithgow's way too old to be playing Farquaad.
Probably. Now, if they did the music version of Shrek, which I saw,
yeah,
it is one of the best musicals out there.
I'm surprised they haven't yet. Actually,
it is so shockingly funny and good.
Wow,
it was so popular they put it on one of the releases of the movie. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I didn't know that.
As a bonus.
They did as a bonus. Yeah,
yeah. I would go watch the musical, like turning it into the Wicked as a Wicked style musical movie experience, like the producers even or the Monty Python movie about the Holy Grail. It would be great. I don't think people realize how good Shrek the musical, stage musical is.
I would say I think it's pretty popular, but yeah, no, I'm surprised they haven't yet done that. But that would make more sense.
Yeah,
to
that
me
would
than
make
doing
more
another
sense.
one. But it is what it is. They're doing another one. This one did come out this weekend, and this is actually its second weekend, but it had a 94% drop off.
How about the there is a casualty still though we haven't talked about. And
Which one?
Mortal Kombat 2.
Well,
I'm sorry,
Andre already did his
just...
postmortem.
Yeah,
this one hurts. This one hurts.
Yeah,
it
does talk about it.
Yeah, this is not going to
too
go
low.
well.
This is too low for international.
This is not even going to crack 200 million, guys.
Well, what was the budget though? Pretty low, no?
No, it wasn't low. It was 80 million.
It was like double the
they
original
will
budget.
admit to. Yeah.
80.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
So don't
because you said it's a good film. Do you just think it's the timing of the release?
I'm hearing a lot more. Here's the thing. This is another thing, kind of like with Star Wars. You have a mixture of corporate shenanigans pissing a lot of fans off, mixed with a lot of people were really turned off by that first film. They did not like the Cole character. They do not like Liu Kang being pushed to the side. And that's another thing here that a lot of people were complaining about was how Liu Kang was treated. Some people were not happy with how Johnny Cage was treated as an old fart. Some people are still hung up on Katana becoming so much of the focal point of the story. A semi-decent enough version leaked online early enough that enough people saw it, I guess, also. So this is one of those movies that I feel like might have gotten hurt by piracy a little bit, kind of like Dread did. So unfortunately, I feel like it's going to have the same fate. And I think Warner Brothers kind of knew that going into the weekend, because I had heard rumors myself that there was, not rumors. I mean, I was told, yeah, this is going to be a trilogy at least. Originally, Andre can remember that. Oh, yeah. And that's why I kept trying to tell people, is like, they didn't want to shoot their wad in the first movie. Like, that's why there's no actual tournament in the first movie. It's just the setup, right? If you look at it, if you kind of step back, it's all the same story as the first original film. It's just told over 3 movies. It's kind of what I was felt like it was being insinuated towards me. But I was also told that at the last minute, they cut out connective tissue that would have set up part 3. Like, there was supposed to be an end credit scene and a couple other things that got trimmed, because going into the weekend, they kind of already saw the writing on the wall that this was not going to do as well as they had hoped. The ceiling had been met, I guess. And that's kind of what you said, Andre, and I agree with you. If anything, check out Andre's post-mortem. I think he nails it pretty much with that. But then you get the corporate side of this, where they fucked with the game so much too. And to get into that would probably take another 20 minutes of conversation.
It's a perfect storm, but it's a shame, and it's self-inflicted. They tried to fix it, but I think that their attempt at fixing it was undercut by the release date. I think if they had just kept the original release date, then if nothing else, the movie would not have gone up against Michael, and that would have helped. That maybe would have done all the difference. And also remember, the marketing campaign was also geared for an October release, which is what it had originally. The trailer that everyone was excited about, I mean, that came out last summer, almost a year ago now, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like months of nothing. They were building the hype the way a marketing campaign is supposed to do, and then they had to release a different trailer, and that trailer was complete dog shit, in my opinion, compared to the one that was before. So yeah, here you had a perfect storm, but ultimately the biggest problem is that the movie cost too much, because it had to fix the mistakes made in the first one. And the people that went to see the movie, they for the most part liked it, but not enough people went to see it. So ultimately they spent too much money, because probably this is the ceiling for Mortal Kombat. A Mortal Kombat movie can at best it can do better than this, but I don't know that it can do much better than this.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure if you compare this to the original film's box office and add in the inflation and stuff with the last 2 movies, I bet it's a lot like the Star Trek thing. For those who don't remember, real quick, Emma Watts was somebody who was a suit over at Paramount, and she was the only one who had the balls, as a woman, believe it or not, who had the balls.
Yeah, so she had the ovaries.
Yeah, the ovaries to say, guess what, guys? We can't be spending this much money on Star Trek. You want to know why? Because there's a ceiling on this. She went and she did the homework. She clearly looked and saw that Star Trek, the motion pictures, Wrath of Khan, Star Trek 4, the films that perform the best at the box office, even if you go into inflation compared to their budgets, the J.J. Abrams movies were horrible in comparison. Because like we were talking about earlier with The Mandalorian and Grogu, is the thing with those movies, they amortized that shit across the board. So each one of those movies, they were able to, make them worth the most they could. And if you go by the box office wise, especially when you get to Wrath of Khan is a great example, because they took what cost way too much with the first Star Trek movie. And in Star Trek 2, they amortized all that stuff. And so they spent, what was it, a half of what they spent on the first movie, Andre? I can't remember, but
yeah, something like that.
But that second film made almost as much as the first movie. So at the end of the day, it was more successful. But as they got going along to like 5 and 6, that's when the movie started costing a little too much, and that's when they backed up. But all that stuff got used in Star Trek: The Next Generation. So that's kind of how these things work, if they can actually get them to work for them.
In regards to Mortal Kombat 2, has it been released in Asia, Andre?
Well, here's the thing.
Can it make some money?
It can't. No, it can't really, because Mortal Kombat really is, although culturally it's set in Asia and Asian culture is important and stuff like that, right? Yeah. It's a very Western game. It was never that big in Asia. It's banned in large parts of Asia, including in Japan. So it's interesting with when you have like that guy playing Scorpion, really honors Japanese culture and stuff like that. Well, he does that for a movie that's not going to be released, or for a movie that is going to come out in Japan, but the game didn't. So no, there's the international markets aren't going to come to the rescue here.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Actually, it hasn't been released in Japan yet. It's been in China,
Like
South
Hong
Korea,
Kong and China.
Hong Kong, but not in Japan.
But it didn't make a dent. Probably. Okay.
No, not
really.
really.
There's the game is banned there, so when it does come, so it's not a priority for the studio to release it there, because to them it's just another rando American thing. Among many others, it's not a priority because
they should have spent more.
Isn't there.
This is the one time where, I mean, I know a lot of people have said a lot of things about certain budgets, but from what I've heard, this is the one time where I agree with you, Andre. Like, this was spending way too much. They should have spent more than $45 or $50 million on this movie.
And also, just think of China, because this is something we sometimes hear. Movies that involve the dead and the undead and coming back from the dead and themes like that, these are not big sellers in China for cultural reasons, and there's a lot of that going on in Mortal Kombat. Here you have characters going into the realm of the dead, coming back from the dead. These things.
We have the necromancer guy.
Yeah, exactly. You have necromancy. You have a guy who's explicitly a necromancer, with Shao Kahn telling you, "Dude, necromancer, bring that guy back. Bring him back." Can't bring him back. Okay, fine. What with that guy then? You literally have that going on. You have necromancy going on explicitly multiple times in the movie. If anything, I'm surprised that this movie was allowed to be released in China at all. But given that it is released there, it's not going to get promoted. It's not going to get an audience. It's going to restrict itself because it's going to get killed off by word of mouth. International markets will not save this. Mortal Kombat is an American thing. And it's America's what's going to have to drag the box office here. America and Europe. The money that it's made internationally, that's what it's going to make. There's no one coming to help.
So Street Fighter actually,
it's done.
I was going to say, so actually Street Fighter might have a leg up on that then, is what you're saying.
Street Fighter is going to have a leg up on Mortal Kombat internationally, yeah. Street Fighter, for instance, that's out in Japan. That's a Japanese game that everyone there knows. So yeah, Mortal Kombat.
See, that's something I never took into consideration.
Yeah. So no one's coming to help with Mortal Kombat, and probably it's not going to cross 200 million worldwide.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's good news. It's very sad because I loved the movie. It's my second favorite movie I've seen in theaters so far this year. No, actually, it's my favorite movie I've seen in theaters so far this year. It's just my second.
It's probably my
movie.
third or fourth, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of the few movies I want to revisit. That's for sure. Like I revisited Project Hail Mary, and I'm like, yeah, it was good. I don't need to see it again for a while, probably though. Like Michael, you already know I'm obsessed with that, so that goes without saying. But like, yeah, I've been wanting to see the Sheep Detectives and Mario Brothers. Look, I didn't really care so much for the first one as everybody else, but again, I didn't go after it either. So like, this one, I'm just like, nah, I'll see it when I eventually see it. So yeah, but other than that, like, at least there's options. That's the beauty of it. So any final thoughts on the box office? I don't know if you want to roll down there just to see the total, Paul, but I'm sure it's not too bad. At least it's got to be well over $100 million for the weekend.
Let's take okay. So,
oh yeah, nice, almost 175 million for the weekend. So that's what they want to see. That's Hollywood on the rise right there. Not great, but better than it was. So
there you go. We're done.
That's your box office, kids. So let's see what you guys are talking about. Joe Pat actually checked out Obsession and says, myself, this weekend, such an effed up movie, and that's why it works. It's an effective monkey paw story. Yeah.
A lot of that going around.
Yep. See, now hopefully Hollywood starts to notice and learn that, look, there's only 5 movies. I don't remember who said this, but there really is. There's only like 5 movies, and they just keep remaking them. Like, every movie is the same as something else. Every movie is either Seven Samurai or, they're all the same stories over and over
Well,
and
it's
over
5
again.
core stories.
Yes, that's
it's
what I'm
not
getting
5.
at.
It's
Yeah.
like 7, or it's a
Yeah,
number
you know what
of
I'm getting at,
core
though.
stories. Yeah.
Like the whole thing, and this is the way
the
Hollywood and
wrapping is
television
different.
used to fucking run. Is like you didn't just do sequels all the time; you just do a new thing like that instead of trying to rehash the old things. This is the first time ever in television and in movies where I've seen them desperate to try and grasp onto an IP when in the past they would piss all over that, going, "You can't do that. People have already seen that. That's old hat," right? Like even sequels they were embarrassed of for years. It was like, oh yeah, this is a sequel, by the way. They would hide it sometimes even. So like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. I'm glad to see we're getting back to this era of filming where it's like, or looks like at least we're getting back to a box office where it's like not everything's a sequel or a prequel or a remake or whatever, at least in a remake in a sense of an actual Total Recall or type one of those things. But yeah. Anyway, Horseradish Power says, can I make a British Betty Boop based on Amy Winehouse? Oh,
well, you can't do it when it enters the public domain.
But I think the first version would be the Poodle version.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if that were to happen then.
So like 1929, I believe, or 30 was when the Poodle version was introduced. So that would be what? I think we're about 5 years from that, her being in the public domain. But it's just that version. You guys got to remember that. So it'll be a couple years more than that before the version that we all know of as Betty Boop is public domain. Whenever she I think the version finally was fully formed when she was dropped in the Popeye cartoon.
How many years was it from the original work came out?
I think it's 29 or 1930, one of the two.
Okay,
when is it? 95 years past the
95 years. Date. Okay, yeah. What that means, though, is that you can all go and make your own original Odyssey because it's been more than 95 years.
Oh, yeah.
You sure can.
Came out and since the author died. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have 100 different versions of the Odyssey. It's like, that's the thing with this version.
Came one last year, even.
Yeah. Like, I mean, people wouldn't be so upset about it. But anyhow, as for the Odyssey, has pushed me to watch other fantasy films this summer, Motu. Well, hopefully you enjoy it.
I can't wait for it. I'm so excited.
I would love to see a Betty Boop remake starring Paul Chato called it Betty Poop.
The Poodle version is already
I'm trying.
Oh, is it technically? Okay.
Yeah,
well, then,
January 1st this year because it's been 95 years. Yeah.
So I was pretty close then.
So the Poodle version is public domain.
And then Bucky Cat says you had KK minions making fun of fans.
Yeah. Kathleen Kennedy's mocking the toxic fandom,
She just recently did, or does he mean in general?
Nah, I think that was probably back when we were talking about all the reasons people might be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well
remember, because what was really bad, for instance, was in the aftermath of Mando season 2 with the finale when fans were really emotional, crying out of joys in reaction videos, and then you had what's his face, Pablo something, and other Lucasfilm minions, Pablo Hidalgo, thank you, that were actively mocking the fans, saying your emotions are not for shielding, for sharing, because they were so upset that people reacted so positively to it, because they wanted people to have that reaction to Rey, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, what a great moment that was! What a great ending, and then it all just kind of went sideways. The firing.
It's one of the best endings ever, and I mean, imagine what a good place Star Wars could have been right now, were it not for the fighting of Gina Carano, because that's what derailed everything.
You're right.
That is what derailed it.
Yeah. What if they just paused Mando and then 2 years later did this movie?
Yeah.
And Gina was in it.
That would have. We would be having a very different conversation right now. Still,
I don't think the movie was ever designed.
I don't think so.
I don't think it was ever designed for anybody else to be in it because, like I just pointed out before, you have nothing. You have no other characters that were ever in Mandalorian ever in this movie besides Mando and Grogu.
She couldn't have played the Sigourney Weaver character's role.
She could have potentially, but I don't think it would have fit her.
Well, me and Tom talked about that.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it.
Yeah, there's a cantina spoiler where the rebel pilots meet up, which is kind of cool. She could have easily been there in the corner.
They could have, but it's not necessary.
That first episode that she appeared in.
Yeah, why not?
But we did not get any of these look, kids, it's so and so. Oh, great, kids, let's talk about this person, or because they don't even bring up Carl Weathers at all.
Carl Weathers.
Like I was kind of sad
really...
they didn't even give him a dedicated to Carl Weathers in the.
Oh yeah, come on, Disney.
They may have buried in the end credits, but I didn't see it because the movie ended, I checked my phone to see if there's any end credit sequences. It said nope, so I'm like, okay, I'm out of here because I gotta piss.
Yeah.
If anything, it was the Hutts. It was really the Hutts that they.
Are all the Hutts in the Star Wars universe just related now or something?
That's the weird thing is I'm trying to figure out this relationship with the Hutts. Are they like incestuous or what the fuck is the deal here? Like
it's the Hutt saga.
Because they're like the brother and sister in The Crow, for fuck's sake. Like,
oh no.
Well, probably they are like Lobo, meaning that they killed everyone who isn't their direct bloodline, so they would be unique.
Well, and I don't know if anybody who's a real diehard Star Wars fan in the chat might be able to tell us. Maybe it's normal for them. Like
they did have the Captain EO of creature.
Yes, that was kind of cool. Like all the Easter eggs that are there are not like in your face. They're well placed. Like even I didn't even know this till after the fact. I didn't know this Friday even when we talked about it. But I guess they brought Phil Tippett out of retirement to do some of the stop motion for the creatures. So like when they're in this arena scene, he does all that stop motion. It's just like the arena on the chessboard in Star Wars. So like there's those little nods here and there. So like, and they're not like in your face to where they like pull you out of the moment either. Or, you don't get a like, oh, it's a Darth Vader moment or something like that. You know what I mean? There's none of that. Mm-hmm. You don't even get the cameo from like Harrison Ford or anything like that could necessarily fit because he actually has a history with the Hutts. You know what I mean? Like none of that. So he doesn't go for any of the cheap, easy, cheers from the audience at all.
Listen, we're selling this to the wrong crowd.
But I got to give it credit where credit's due. Eclipse Warlord says, this may be the first Midnight Sedge in the Morning where I have no interest in any of the topics so far. Star something sums up the Disney Star Wars franchise up as well. Yeah, that's a problem. And then Horseradish Power says, off topic, has any of the panel watched the short film The Patch Right? I have not heard of it on YouTube. No, has anybody else?
We have to check it out and get back to it because I'm not familiar with it.
He says, I think it shows how the individual can build their own IP.
Yeah, that may very well be.
Well, there's got to be something to it. People have been doing it for thousands of years.
Yep.
Alyssa Marion says, excuse me, could not care any less about Star Wars. Mork and Mindy review Titan Comics.
I'm good for that.
I think Andre's working on that sort of in the background.
Yeah. It's coming. Because I started it with Scribe, and we're going to continue. Just a matter of finding like the time. It's mostly my fault, but it's coming. And the Titan comics, they are knocking it out of the park.
What does this guy have against Mork and Mindy, though? I'm confused.
No, that's what he's calling Grogu.
I think it's the Mando.
Oh,
yeah.
GS Holland says with $10. One thing fans hate more than Disney critics, when critics tanked the movie, I saw the interest go up among a lot of fans willing to give Mando a chance. Okay, so what you're saying here is you're saying that once some fans saw the critics were going after it, they decided to go see it. See, that's the thing is I saw mostly lukewarm reviews from the critics, so that was kind of like, oh, this is weird, because you're right, because usually if it goes one way or the other, then the audience responds.
Yeah. I don't think it's the critics alone. I think it's a combo of lukewarm to negative critic reviews and then some positive fan reviews. That combo, I don't think that any one alone is going to push things people into going that weren't going anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But considering how many critics have lost esteem, I mean, just look at Michael. I mean, that was a huge punch in the face or slap in the face for the critics right there. But of course, not everyone is perpetually online or even aware of those things. But it may have added a little bit. But I think it's more about the positive word of mouth from fans, because this came in above any kind of expectations. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise.
Well,
this came out above.
And I've always found Memorial Day weekend to be a funny weekend to release a movie on. And they've done this since Star Wars. It's kind of been the thing, right? And it's just because Star Wars happened to hit in that era, and ever since then they've done this. But it's never made sense to me, especially in the American market, because this holiday it's basically a part of a 4-day weekend for a lot of people. And it's when school gets out. And a lot of people don't generally like to go to the movies. They go out and they do like vacations, or they go camping, or they do other things and activities. Kind of like 4th of July weekend, which is another one where I always question why they tried to decide to drop a movie outside of something like Independence Day. Because you're like, why are you competing with life? like this weekend, if anything, nothing should have come out. It should have just been leftovers and whatnot. I've never understood that, why they think that people, because basically people most of the time have to go out of their way to see it. Because my point is I think I don't know if the second weekend drop is going to be as bad as people think. I think my point is I think some people are too busy this weekend to go see it yet. Because I'm not seeing as much of the reaction I see online as I do in real life. Like most of the people I've seen talk about it in real life, they either want to see it or they've liked it, or like when I saw it, I'll admit I saw it at the first 3D IMAX showing, so that means that basically the most diehard Star Wars fans were there, and there was a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were cheering throughout, they were laughing throughout. Because I hear all these other critics in our own sphere saying, "Well, I went to the movie and not a single." Like, okay, maybe I'm not going to call you a liar, but I went to the first showing, and these people were eating it up. It almost kind of won me over after a little bit, because I was kind of bored walking into it. To be honest with you, I was just kind of like, okay, let's get this fucking over with. Actually, I mean, I was even talking to Six just before, because she had just finished it, and so she had set my expectations even lower.
Oh, she didn't like it?
No, so I was like, oh
Ooh.
boy. So I'm like, here I am. She's like, basically, you go to the bathroom anytime, you won't miss nothing. So I was like,
Oh.
so I was like, oh fuck, and the movie's just starting, and I'm like, shh. So after about 5-10 minutes though, I was laughing, I was enjoying it. Sure, it had its low moments and its low points, but after overall, I was like, oh, I was entertained. I don't know if anybody can justify the amount of money it would cost to see it in the theater, considering it's just 3 episodes of a TV show. Now that argument I can understand. That I can see. So that's the one argument I can see people having where they're like, I just can't take 4 kids to the theater to see a movie that I can see on Disney Plus. We got one at home already. But yeah, so who knows? Maybe it will have a better second weekend was my whole point there.
Well, it's got the pocket, which we kept talking about.
Yes.
Is that if it doesn't do well for 2 weeks, that's very telling. But at the end of the day, too, yes, it is Star Wars, right? Of course, but it is a movie based off a TV show.
Yeah.
So I mean, again,
that's kind of where I'm coming at it too.
It came on right after season 2. Boom. I mean, yeah. And of course, Carl Weathers and Gina would probably still be involved in this film. That would have been really spectacular.
I don't want to, Sumerian. I came out of this as like, whatever. But I've seen so hardcore people all weekend just go after this movie. And I said this to Mark last night. I was just kind of like, I hate sticking up for it, but it almost feels like people are picking on a retarded child. It's like, I almost feel like I have to in some weird way.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see when He-Man comes out.
Oh, wait for the wrath of Tom. That's where I'm just kind of sitting down going, you guys just wait.
That's because you tapped out. You don't care. You divorce Star Wars and you're like, it's okay.
Yeah,
fine,
exactly.
Whatever.
But it's like you wait until I rain on your little Motu parade here in about 2 weeks.
Well, there's another movie that same weekend that's actually charting. Their older films are charting right now in the sales. And that's
Are you talking about Scary Movie? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've been saying that, and I know other people have too. I'm not alone. Where they're like, don't sleep on that shit. I think Scary Movie is gonna beat the hell out of He-Man. Yeah, and they're gonna go, too. What the fuck just happened?
And
at least domestically.
Yeah.
Especially with how popular horror has been. Let's put aside the fact that this is the first real comedy we've had in a while that is like saying that we're not gonna, pull any punches. Horror has been so popular, and the stuff that they're satirizing, it's gonna bring in a whole new audience. See, because it's a lot of the more modern stuff too. So I have a feeling this is gonna be a big one. But Mikey says, okay, Tom, so you're saying that the Grogu movie is almost as good as a Zack Snyder film. Got it. LOL. Well, it's kind of better because it's Jon Favreau, not Zack Snyder. Oh,
I mean,
I don't know that. I think I
Mikey.
shot, but
Mikey,
I love you, Mikey. You miss you. Horseradish Power says Sheep Detectives is a fun family film. That's what I'm hearing, Horseradish Power, and I've been trying to get my mom to go see it. That's kind of why I haven't gotten to see it yet. Because I have a feeling she'll love it. It's the kind of movie I think my mom will adore. So yeah, it's a lot like that Babe and
yeah, Babe. I think it's by the same guy, isn't it?
Might even be, yeah. I don't know him for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I love Babe. Babe was
well, isn't that the Mad Max guy? Isn't he the one who did that?
No, I think he's talking about the original author.
Oh,
I think he's talking about.
Yeah,
right.
It's not by Miller. I don't think Miller did.
No. No, but George Miller, yeah, the weirdest thing is the Mad Max director made Babe.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I love when that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And it works out. Yes.
Yeah, well, no, it's got to work out.
Because you have like this, you have a few times where directors have tried to change their lane and they're just like, oh shit.
Yeah, not so much.
Bucky Cat says, went to the Sheep Detective on Sunday. Theater was full. It was an enjoyable family film. I'm not surprised. Like I said, word of mouth's getting out there. This is playing almost like an Angel Studios picture in a way. So, yeah. Good for the movie. I want to see it too. Dark King says, reminder, The Back Rooms released May 29th. This is another one coming out this next week that might cause some disturbance.
Going to bring that up to you.
For Mando and Grogu. And Valiant makes an excellent point about this movie because he bought a bunch of tickets for his kid and friends that want to go see this. This is going to be one of the, I said this last night, this is going to be like the next Minecraft thing, I bet. Where not everybody's going to understand why everybody's going to see it because it's based on an internet video thing.
4chan.
Yeah, 4chan, sorry, yeah. But the kids are going to show up for this thing, I think. This is what I think is going to be pretty popular this next weekend. So we'll see. And
it's already pre-sale tickets are already massive for its Friday. So
wow.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Creepypasta stuff is a winner.
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
Yeah. Eclipse Warlord says Shrek the Musical came out on disc 13 years ago. That's right. I pointed out they did.
But how? By just recording the musical off the stage?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not...
I mean, it was done well.
I mean, if you're going to see a musical, though, you need to see it live. I mean, it's like basically concert movies. I
was going to say, it's basically like, you know how PBS would show once in a while, you'd be sitting there and all of a sudden they show the Broadway version of whatever, because they just have like 5 cameras set up.
Yeah.
It's a well done production of it, but yes, it's basically just them filming the production on stage. Yes. So it was a bonus thing, and I think they
not
brought
what
it out
I
separately.
meant. Eclipse Warford.
No.
He's checking us.
Warlord.
Yeah,
but
thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you though. Jason Webster says the K Horror Colony had a very strong opening domestic record, recording the biggest opening day performance of 2026. It has crossed 10 million US domestically. Is it a domestic release or is this in the US? Not or Korean? Is you mean domestically Korean?
Let's bring it back up. I'll look it up
because I don't remember seeing this movie on the list. It should have been.
Well, it might be one of those movies that's consistently on the bottom top 20, but it's still in the theaters. I don't know.
That's what I was wondering. But with 10 million, it should have been in like the top 10.
No, I think he's saying cumulatively, like so far it's made 10
altogether.
million. Okay. What's it called again?
Colony.
He said it had a very strong opening, domestically recording the biggest opening day performance of 2026.
With the K or with the C?
C.
But I'm thinking he's meaning Korea because.
Well, yeah. I mean, K horror is Korean horror.
There's no.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but he's saying domestically. That's just confused. That
domestic as in Korea. Yeah.
Right. So here in North America, it has not opened up.
Yeah, it just came out at Cannes 2 weeks ago, maybe. It just released in South Korea last weekend.
So it's all the buzz in Kuala Lumpur.
Okay. And then we got Icathu who says, sadly, action is an out of favor genre like Westerns. Even John Wick 4 couldn't break 500 million and culturally forgotten. Mortal Kombat 2 never had a chance to be profitable. I both agree and disagree with you at the same time here, Icathu, and I wonder if Paulie's shaking his finger for the same reasons. The problem with John Wick 4 was that it was an hour too long. I haven't seen it yet, but I can tell you that just from just stepping back and going, well, first of all, you have a whole series of films that are roughly 2 hours long, and you slap a fourth movie down that's the same exact fucking thing that happened to Mission Impossible. You do that to your audience, they're going to tune out. they're going to wait for video. They're not going to go see that shit. But I
So
think
it-
action's fine. I mean,
So it wasn't Jurassic World Rebirth that he's talking about. It's John Wick 4.
is it John Wick 4? Because I was
I
say
don't know.
Jurassic Park Rebirth, Jurassic World did well.
No, Jurassic
I
World
thought
did very
Jurassic
well.
World Rebirth.
Yeah, I was going to say that was like the
Okay.
third
No,
highest
that's
grossing
John Wick
film of
because you're
last
talking
year.
about action.
Yeah. I was going to say,
I
and
don't
there's
know
an
that it's
example. There's a
fallen out
counter
of
to it
favor.
there. Then
Has it fallen out of
But
favor?
speaking of
though?
action, Mr. Chato needs to take the
I was
action
gonna
of
say-
leaving.
Oh, taking
yeah,
action.
we're on our last super chat anyway.
He's
but
on Japanese time.
yeah, he is.
Ah,
Yeah, this would be 3 in the
How about
morning
some-
for me.
Oh,
you
geez.
Chato, you have biggest room.
But yeah, as far as Mortal Kombat 2, I think we kind of discussed how that was a whole different set of reasons. And I think you could be right, Cthulhu. We'll see how Street Fighter pans out. There's some other action films I think set to come out here this summer, so we'll have to see how that rolls. That's you are correct though. I think that's the only type of film that besides comedy that we're not seeing on the list, unless you count that one movie I brought up. I guess could be
Maybe
considered a
this year.
comedy.
Fast X and Deadpool and Wolverine did fine. Action.
Chato got a go, or are we gonna chat out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
what,
going.
what do you got, Chato? What's going on?
Yeah, what you got
With
coming
my
up?
life.
You got a couple seconds to go over that.
I got
Be careful,
I got a backlog of stuff to shoot and write and things like that, and I just got to decide whether I want to do it or not. There just seems to be so much content on YouTube. I don't know if I want to just keep adding more logs to the fire right now. Plus, I got started writing a book while I was in Japan, and I'm just up to page 15, and
Wow.
I'm really quite excited about it. It's a pretty fun story. So I won't reveal it. It's sci-fi.
It's not about your backlogs.
It's about what?
It's not about your backlogs.
My
Backlogs.
backlogs of no.
Is it about Hello Kitty?
I'm not laying any backlogs. Yes, it's a Hello Kitty murder mystery.
Set in Harlem, 1920s.
That's right.
Boo boo
Featuring
badoo.
an appropriated Hello Kitty, which was really a black cat.
A Jewish black cat.
Jewish
Oh,
black
star
Jewish
something.
black cat.
Or something. Yeah.
Got to cover it all.
That's right. Anyways, gentlemen, I love you. It's fun to be back and see all of you, and I'll see you soon. But I gotta go.
Paul.
Talk
Love
to you
you, man.
later.
See you,
Have
pal.
fun.
God bless.
Take care. All right. And Jason Webster says for $2 Australian,
Oh,
Colony
muted.
has a US theatrical release for August 28th. Yeah, there you go. So
Thank you, sir.
domestic was then the national home market.
Yes.
So, can we go back to that talk about what genre? Because Hollywood's all about fads.
Mhm.
So I was shaking my. Because so if action is out, not necessarily. What is happening right now, and what do you think is going to be back in?
I don't know. We are at the most. Because here's the thing: movies like horror and sci-fi that generally play well are doing fine. Dramedy, comedy, female films that like Devil Wears Prada, that's technically like a comedy. That's doing fine. Like I said, they've started to learn again. At least it seems like that if we make movies for a specific audience, people will come see them, whether even if they aren't that audience, right? Because that one movie, I forgot the name of it, but the one that the gay movie, the flamboyant one,
Bros.
no, the one that's out right now, just forgot the name of it. That Polly had said that the guy has been making movies for a while, and I can't remember now.
Oh, I love Boosters. About
Boosters, the Boosters. I was gonna say something about Bootsy, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, the Boosters movie. Like, there's that going on, and then you have other films like they're making them for the specific audience instead of trying to bring in somebody else who doesn't belong into that equation, basically. And that's where I think it's going to come to a head with the Odyssey. I think we're going to see that come to a full steam head with that. And you and I have talked about this, Paulie. We've all talked about this on this panel. That, yeah, with action and everything like that, though, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's a matter of something coming out. Unfortunately for Motu, if it was more action-oriented and not comedy, I think that would actually help the movie. Because I think a lot more people are starting to become more attuned to what I've been trying to say about the film. Is that it's not going to be a sword and sorcery fantasy film with a few chuckles in it. it's going to be Barbie 2. Like, that's really what it's shaping up to be. So we'll see here. But yeah, action I don't think is dead.
I think gun fu movies maybe.
Gun fu might have played out. Yeah, I think you got a point there, Chris. That might be played out. To go back to that last super chat with John Wick, maybe that aspect has kind of gotten old and played out. But yeah.
I mean, if you want to say some Super Mario Galaxy's an action movie, right? I mean,
technically, yeah. I mean, I don't even want to say video game movies are the next thing, because Mortal Kombat went and proved my point of what I just was saying a week or two ago, or whatever it was when we were talking about this, is that this is not a guarantee like comic books, right? No. The thing with Marvel was you gain the trust of the audience through those few films to the point where all you had to do is slap that Marvel logo on and people were going to go. That's not the case anymore.
That's played out. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's never been the case with video games because they are such an intricately different marketed thing, and the way they're created. And they're also different, right? Because at least with my point is with a comic book, the beauty of a comic book is basically it's your storyboard laid out for you, right? That's not what a video game is. You got to come up with one of those just to make a video game. And then the video game gets made and it's a whole nother animal into and out of itself. And then look at Mortal Kombat as a great example of what exactly do you adapt, right? Because it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to do it wrong for somebody.
Well, you remember when the trailer came out? I mean, it was a record-breaking trailer.
Yeah.
And then they delayed the movie 7 months. That was the first mistake. Then they had that brutal box office competition when it came out. And then the fan backlash over the lore. So, I mean, it was kind of a trifecta against them. But you're right. Video game movies, it's got to be hit or miss.
They're a crapshoot. Right? Mm-hmm. You can't guarantee. Some things like Mario and Sonic are always going to be able to lend themselves to a.
We'll see how the Link movie does, or not Link, Zelda.
Zelda's plausible, but like, you know, I mean, how many times like, I mean, the other option is to go with like what they did with Final Fantasy, like I said, and it's where you do something that's completely unrelated to any of the games.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still set in the same kind of idea, I guess. And at that point, it's like, well, what are we doing here? Like, is this even the same thing? So, like, again, I don't know what the next genre is going to be, but I don't think genres are the problem, Paulie. I just think it's a matter of Hollywood learning to make things for an audience. Because you can make any movie for just about any audience, right? Like, that's what they used to do. You know, every week we'd come up with all kinds of different stuff, whether it was, a movie that was led by a black cast or a Hispanic cast or a white cast. It didn't seem to matter back then, right? We didn't even really have that so often as much as.
They ain't got no Mexican cast.
Well, not as much as they should probably.
No. I really think I'm with everything you said. I think what's due for a comeback is kind of like the offensive, wrong comedies.
Yeah.
People want to laugh right now.
Yeah. Maybe Scary will do that.
The most popular things right now are the roasts, on Netflix, huge numbers. I think we're all wanting a scary movie to roast the woke and all that stuff. It's because it's people are tired of it. They want to laugh, and it's always good to laugh at ourselves. That's what I was thinking, Tom.
Yeah. No, the comedies definitely need if anything needs to be reinvigorated, it's definitely comedy. But action, like that's what kind of started the whole thing off. Action's like always like that is film, like it always has been film, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's just a matter of they just got to find the right thing. I'm sure we'll have something come up here sooner than later that'll.
I'm sure Spaceballs 2 will fix comedy.
Yeah. I'm going to bank more on Scary Movie 6 on that
one. I think you're right. Yeah.
If I was going to bank on anything. And then this is our last super chat, I believe. All Is Dust sends in £5 to say, not related to the topics of today's show, but I think I'm melting in the UK. Currently 32 degrees Celsius. Our homes aren't built for this.
This is true. Because this is in mainland Europe.
So somebody translate that into Fahrenheit for me.
Okay, hot. Freaking hot. And
it's 80 here, so you got to say more than hot.
It's about 90.
Okay, so it's 10 more degrees than where I'm at. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, and UK houses, just like Nordic houses, they're not made to be ventilated and to be cool on hot days. No, they are designed to keep the heat inside in the harsh winters.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And this is like the same thing when we get a heat wave in Norway and Sweden. Everyone is dying because our houses are made to be warm in winter. And the downside of this, of course, is that when it is warm outside, really warm inside.
I actually can relate because Wisconsin has the best of both worlds.
So
it's a crapshoot of the type of house you're going to get. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have central heat and air, Andre?
Yes.
Air conditioning? Okay.
No, very few have air conditioning.
Yeah, that's what I understand. In the UK, a
central
lot of them
heating.
don't have air conditioning. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. This is not a UK thing. This is a Northern European thing.
Okay.
Very few people have air conditioning because most of the year you don't need it. There's like 2-3 weeks a year where you might need that air conditioning. And of course you do miss it those 2-3 days a year, but all the other time it's about keeping the heat inside. Now, what many people increasingly do have are water pumps, which actually do warm up in winter and cool down in summer, but that's still spreading. Like, I don't have that. My parents do, but I don't have that.
Yet another reason why America is the greatest country in the world.
America is the greatest. Yeah. We have
Happy Memorial Day to all those people who have honest. This is not a joke. This is it is Memorial Day, so
yeah.
To those who gave their lives to our country.
Yeah. And then Six comes in with one more super chat to say this is the last super chat. Well, let's hope not for all time. Let's just hope for this show. And Paulie, what you got coming up?
I got two great guests this week on my live streams. Tomorrow, Michelle Force of Light. We just created that stream, so check it out on the channel. And then Wednesday, after Midnight's Edge, we have the Popcast Bros coming on. So
nice.
we always have an eclectic diversity of guests.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what I got.
Magnificent.
All right. And then that's it. Chris, what do you got coming up?
Over on Bleeding Full right now, we talk a little bit about how Mando and Grogu, the box office, benefited from low expectations. I think that that's really been the theme. You had low expectations, you might have enjoyed it, and you told other people, hey, it's not so bad. And we talk a little bit about that Obsession film, and we talk about right now the big story is sort of that finale, Amazon's The Boys, where everybody's favorite villain wound up on his knees offering oral sex just to save his butt. So check it out, bleedingfool.com, and that's got a lot of people angry, or over on X at Bleeding Fool. Happy Monday, everybody.
All right. Take care of yourselves and each other. Andre, anything else that we need to cover? Or are we good?
I think we are pretty good. So yeah, thanks for joining. Take care.
Koalas?
Koalas.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given.